everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon, and we're back today for another episode of Call of Cthulhu Masks of Nyarlathotep as well. We've all been waiting for, my friends. We've waited patiently for weeks, and now here we are. So let's get into it, my friends. Let's remind ourselves of who we are and who we're playing today. So let's start with Laugh Love Lindy. Lindy, how's it going today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty spiffy. I'm super happy to be getting back to playing some Call of Cthulhu. Missed Catherine, missed all the, wonderful adventures. And by adventures, I mean retirement. Obviously, that's going to be happening, and nothing terrible at all to Catherine. Yeah, just a regular housewife, trophy wife, and kind of maybe a former assassin retiring from that. So, it's cool. Yeah, I think my husband could probably tell you more.
Yes, Greg, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be back and playing some Call of Cthulhu with my favorite pals, and playing a little bit of Marcus Jordan. He was cranky last time. I'm not cranky today, so prepare to see some fucking kick-ass acting. That's about it. Let's go. Kick-ass acting incoming. Tom.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm Tom, or Redundant UK. I will be playing Dr. Lucian Ernest, a doctor heading home to Blighty after an absolutely god-awful time in the Americas. I mean, really. First South America, which was god-awful. Then he made the same mistake to go to North America, which is just as god-awful. So now he's headed home. Nothing can go wrong. He's going to put his feet up, have a cup of tea, and get on with life. Speaking of America being the worst, Pruitt, how's it going?
Hey! Yeah, we're still here for the time being. So it's great to get back with this crew. It's been too long. I missed every one of your stupid faces. I love you, and I will be playing everyone's favorite Russian gangster, Koskov Romanovich. He's now more superhero than man. And I can't wait to see what crazy power he gets today, because it seems like every episode he adds one. So get ready to see a lot of naked, flaming fist, Russian punching, crazy action today. So
that's just my search history. Don, how's it going tonight?
I'm doing great. Like everybody else, I'm so happy to be back. Excited to play Tennessee Gray. He's got some things going for him. He's got Lucy, his car, which now is immortal and will always come back to him and has no negative side effects. And he as of last episode, he's quadruple jointed, which I'm sure is gonna save him in the finale of this series, in the final episode. That's gonna be the thing that comes back to save the day. I'm calling it now.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see how things goes for our investigators now that they are reaching the mainland of England after their expeditions in New York. What could possibly be worse than America, I hear you cry? Well, it may very well be the English. But before we get into today's game, I remind you guys of a couple of things. If you're watching on Twitch, and hello! And if you're watching on YouTube, then come on along and watch us live here every 2 o'clock Eastern, 2 p.m. In the afternoon every Wednesday. You can join us for the live stream. It's very fun. Say hey and chat, and you can meet all the cast and crew in person as well. It's a good old time. And of course, you guys should know that we're sponsored by Fantasygrounds.com, our virtual tabletop of choice. So go and check those guys out. The demo version is free to download on Steam or via their website, Fantasygrounds.com. WaylandGames.co.uk is a go-to destination for tabletop board games, war games, and more at up to 20% off the retail value. And then last but not least, TabletopLoot.com is the place to go to get all of your dice. All of your dice needs will be fulfilled on TabletopLoot.com. And when we hit 20 retweets, you guys get a set of dice given away there in the chat of the Twitch live stream for free. So go ahead, retweet that tweet if you haven't yet. And of course, you can donate to affect the game as well by giving players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and worse. But for a quick recap as to what happened last time on the show, the investigators left New York after a series of horrific events which have left them badly injured, scarred psychologically and physically. and they sit aboard a White Line cruiser to get the hell out of Dodge. While on the ship, they had a series of interesting encounters with the White Hare, a member of Her Majesty's Secret Service with a license to talk shit. And seemingly somewhat ghostly, question mark. We're still not quite sure exactly how they do it, but it's most likely with mirrors. The White Hare has extended them an offer to help out while in England, as a series of strange murders and killings in Soho and environs, in fact, further out of London as well, have been linked to the same cases such as Jackson Elias was following of the 1-2 buckle my shoe notices being left at each of these murders. And there was some shenanigans and some arguing. And at the end of the episode, Tennessee Gray had a very strange encounter indeed, one which he will never remember. But let's kick things off today, as we're going to start with you guys having reached England. So our 2-week journey since last we saw you guys. So we're going to go around and do some quick vignettes about what it is that you guys have been up to. And then I'll let you guys know what the White Hare has told you and what information you will have upon setting foot aboard jolly old England. So let's start with, let's go back around. So let's start with Tennessee Gray. Tennessee, you had a very strange encounter a couple of weeks ago, but what have you been up to on the ship in the meantime?
Oh, having not remembered his encounter at all with, I don't know, some creepy guy in a coat in the rain. I think Tennessee Gray would spend his time sleeping in his car, making sure his car was okay, and checking in with everybody else. He's a little concerned as to what everyone's going to be doing once we get to England. There was talk of killing cultists, which he's not all about. He thinks maybe there's a more nuanced approach that they could take once they get to England. But finding out more about what's going on in London, in Soho, and trying to make sure that no assassins are on the ship and trying to kill us. Those are probably the main things he's up to.
Awesome. It has been pretty light on cultist killings, and while there was a poster set up full of Jordans, none more have arrived since, and there's been no sign of any gentlemen in jacket suits or on with an umbrella, although there have been many of those people. You just can't identify any of those as being ones that are out to kill you. Okay, Koskov. What's Koskov been doing over the past couple of weeks?
He's probably been bonding a little bit with Tennessee down in the hold where he keeps his motorcycle. He likes to keep it in tip-top shape as well. So some good bro time down there, working on our engines and whatnot. But other than that, when he gets to England, he's going to start trying to reach out to some of his business contacts that he has in this area, just in case we need anything that he could provide. Don't want to jump the gun or anything, so to speak. But he likes to make sure that his assets are fluid.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so Koskov's been doing some wheeling and dealing, getting ready. And what about, then, our dear, dear Dr. Ernest?
Primarily, he has been using this time to rest and recover. Lucian had an incredibly strainful psychological effect on him in America, and he is doing everything he can in his possibility to de-stress, relax, enjoy the luxuries that this cruise has to offer before he has to get back to work in London, which he is pretty certain will tax him psychologically once more. Also, occasion he will drop in on the Jordans just to make sure that they're healing quite well. He does his doctorly duties, but primarily just relaxing and chilling.
Okay. And you, of course, do have your practice back in England. Are you planning on revisiting your practice back in London?
I'm probably at some point, yes, once I've done, because I've been blackmailed into helping the white, what was it, the White Hare?
Yes.
something like that. So that is definitely Dr. Ernest's ultimate goal, is to go back to his normal life of being a doctor with his own practitioner. But first things first.
Awesome. And then to the Jordans, either individually or as a team. What have you guys been up to?
Individually, Marcus has been taking this time to, I'm sure he couldn't probably do this on the ship given the technology of the day, but he is prepping several telegrams to go out as soon as they reach merry old England. He is sending them to his good, close personal friend, William Randolph Hearst, to make sure that Hearst can secure him his foreign correspondent international credentials and keep them up to date regardless of all the nonsense that's been going on in America. He has no wish to have North American privileges, but as far as the rest of the world, he would much rather make sure his foreign correspondent status is up to date. During all of that as well, he is securing passage because he would like funding. He is going to do a photography book of the wilds of Africa, where he intends to go to the continent and never come back out.
Excellent. And then Catherine.
Catherine's been doing a lot of resting, recuperating after the police brutality that she may or may not have instigated a little bit. And practicing her violins, her actual violin, and not, violin strings. And she'd also be preparing to write a couple of telegrams ready to send out to see if any of her brothers are in the area when they arrive in London, because it's been several years since she's met up with them, and she'd like to see him again.
Okay, awesome. I believe everybody except for Marcus is down to Clown with the white hair, in terms of getting some benefits and also some information.
Catherine's down, but she hasn't signed anything because of Marcus. So.
Oh, if she doesn't sign anything, then the white hair is going to have an issue.
Yeah, I mean, if when we do sign something, Lucian is going to take days to look over that contract. I mean, every little tiny line possible he is going to...
It won't be a law. I think law is actually a skill.
Fuck! Do I have any
It
nat
is.
20s? I have nat 20s, right? Or did we reset?
I'm pretty sure you do, yeah.
I'm going to use a nat 20. I'm not screwing around with this. I'm going to use a nat 20.
Yeah, you got 5.
Okay.
Back in the strength
And then Koskov will just ask Dr. Lucian, is it okay?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
token.
So I'll use a nat 20, make sure that there's no hidden, like, your soul is now mine, or,
Perhaps written
It's
in
not hidden, it's on the
link.
first page.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, Laura's good. Cool. Yeah, looks pretty standard, looks safe. It's for the duration of your stay within England or whatever. I think we said something like 6 months. So it's...
So it's a 6-month contract working for Her Majesty's government, and everything that you currently do is a non-disclosure, so you cannot say anything to the public. Along those lines?
Sort of along those lines, yeah. If you can imagine this like huge document which covers most aspects of things that you can and can't do, and there's a lot of things that you can get away with, but a lot which you also can't, even if you are, working for the Secret Service.
What about killing?
That is, I'm pretty sure that would be a big no, unless in self-defense, right? Something along those
What if
lines.
it's in line of duty?
Yeah, you can kill in a line of duty. There's like, self-defense and whatnot, you can get away with a little bit.
Gotta admit, that's pretty tempting to Koskov. I mean, a Russian gangster getting permission from the British government to kill. It's hard to pass that up.
Now remember what we were talked about. Before the boat trip, we were gonna try not to kill people.
Yeah, just
We had
raise
that.
him.
That was a conversation.
Yeah.
That was out of character. What I just said. Sorry.
It's also discretionary based on like your supervisors, you know, reading up the situation. So, like, you know, you might have to get like a clearance from the white hair, that sort of thing.
So, just to check, so that for Lucian, if he does this, all previous crimes have washed clean. There's nothing in the eyes of the British law system. All previous things have wiped clean, because I believe that was the deal. And is there any kind of like stipulations, or in small print, something along the lines of, you know, like if certain we can extend this, or, you know, is there any hidden?
There's like a renewal. There's like a renewal clause. Like you would have to choose to renew, and it's like, you know, you have to sign a new document to renew. But yeah.
Okay. And
upon the discretion of both parties, you can renew this contract, etc.
I'm sorry, but the immunity to crimes ends. It kicks in 6 months, right? That's non-negotiable, that kind of thing.
Correct.
6 months, I'm clear. Okay, that's all I'm interested. Yes, it looks fairly standard and reasonable.
Yeah, good. Good to know. I already signed, so.
Good. And Lucian will sign. Yeah. Do we get paid, by the way?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a sec.
Okay.
Tennessee, you signed?
Kidding.
So
I have looked over it as much as I can, so it is standard.
we have to stay in England for 6 months. That's what it says.
The contract.
No, you don't have to stay within the mainland. It's just a contract.
Yes.
Yeah.
The contract length lasts 6 months. If we finish the job earlier, I suppose it's possible that the Heir could complete the contract before that time.
Well, I'll sign if you're signing, Doc, but I think it's important that we're all on the same page here. What we're actually doing in England, trying to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Keep in mind, Mr. Gray, I don't have a choice in signing this. If I want my life back to normal, I have to sign this. You, fortunately, have the liberty to just refuse.
Well, being transient, that is one of the benefits. I can kind of just come and go as I please. Well, I'm all in for this, but again, I don't want us to feel obligated to the British government or anyone else except for ourselves. If things get hairy in England, I want us to be able to get out of there and quick.
Well, for the next 6 months, you will be working for the British government, so yes.
Yes, we sort of have obligation. That's the whole point of signing contract.
So you could talk to the Heir if you wish to talk about, if
I do not wish to talk to the Heir.
Well,
things have already gotten hairy.
Yes, so let's just put it this way. If things do get hairy, as you most eloquently said, you could not just get up and run. No, we have obligations. This is what it is, for at least 6 months.
Perhaps I could sell weapons to England. This would be good business,
All right, I'll sign. It's just words. Just words. He signs.
Cool. And Catherine isn't signing?
Not currently, nope.
Alrighty then. So one night, the White Hair appears to Lucian Ernest, Koskov Romanovich, and Tennessee Gray. And the three of you will probably meet him in either his chambers or one of yours. As he strolls in and makes himself comfortable. He's a young-looking person with a long sort of trench coat and a swagger about him that belies his confidence. As he sits down with the rest of you and pours a couple of drinks, he takes the documents from you that you've signed, takes a quick look over them. All right. Yep. All right. Yep. All right. Sweet. So, time for us to have a little chit-chat about what's going on back home, all right? Because purpose of us is signing this is so you solve the case. Get what I'm saying? When it comes to this fucking buckle my shoe twat who's going around and fucking doing whatever with whoever, here in London. And if this so happens to relate to or pertain to whatever the fuck it is you've been up to in America, then, well, more the merrier, if you know what I mean. So, I'm going to show you some paper clippings now. You can see what you make of them. How's that sound? And he, from our pockets, draws out some papers. Well, hey, let's go here. And the first one is this one. Let's see if this pops up. There we go. And if someone doesn't mind reading this one out for us, for the class. Who feels like reading today? You get a gold star.
You get a nat 20.
You don't get a nat 20.
I found it. I'll read it.
Okay. I'm just stretching it so I can see the whole thing.
Yeah. So Tennessee will read it. So it says, shocking canvases craze. Local artists' monstrous scenes mock surrealists. Now collectors can buy savage scenes which rival or surpass the worst nightmares of the Great War, but which are far more exotic than that grim business. London artist Mr. Miles Shipley's work is being sought out by collectors who have paid up to £300 for individual paintings. This correspondent has seen a number of works from artist Miles Shipley and finds them repulsive beyond belief. Maidens, ravished, monsters ripping out a man's innards, shadowy, grotesque landscapes and faces grimacing in horror represent only a fraction of Shipley's nightmarish work. Despite their repellent content, these works are conceived and executed with uncanny verisimilitude. Mr. Shipley's imagination is sublime, and it is almost as though the artist had worked from photographs of alien places, surely never of this earth. The artist reportedly is in contact with other dimensions in which powerful beings exist, and says he merely renders visible his visions. Mr. Shipley is a working-class man without formal artistic training who nonetheless has made good where thousands have failed. Art critics say that Shipley provides an English answer to the continental artistic movement of surrealism, whose controversial practitioners have still to convince John Bull that the way in which a thing is painted is more important than what is painted. A tip of the hat to Miles Shipley for exposing those frauds.
And the white hair taps his cigarette on it once. It's like, he's fucking nutter then, this guy, eh? I haven't been looking at it myself. One of the lads did and said it's fucking wild. Problem is, on one of these paintings, is some writing in black, which is this buckle my shoe nonsense. The 1-2, first one, and one of them as well. Alright, I didn't think much of that. Didn't even look into it until some of these other cases came up. But then I remember what my mate said, that the 1-2 was on this, and he thought it was strange. So when I came to these next cases, you'll see where I'm coming from. And he throws down another newspaper clipping. All of these, I believe, are from The Scoop, which maybe you don't know if you're not a resident of London. Probably Ernest does recognize it as like a tabloid paper. But even those of you not familiar with it can see that it's all from the same paper. Someone want to read this one out for us?
Go on, I may as well do it.
Go on then.
Police baffled by monstrous murders. Killer beast shot, but still alive. Derwent Valley residents shocked last month by 2 murders and a serious assault on a 3rd victim, are still without satisfactory explanation or perpetrator of the dreadful attacks. At that time, Lesser Edile farmer George Osgood and resident Lydia Perkins were torn to shreds in apparently unrelated murders on consecutive nights. On the 3rd night, wheelwright Harold Shaw was nearly killed, but managed to drive off his attacker, which he described as a grisly creature. According to the Lesser Edile Constabulary, a rabid dog was shot and killed on the night of Mr. Short's attack. The police believe the matter to be closed. Nevertheless, local residents have subsequently claimed to have seen and heard a strange beast lurking about the area. Reportedly, the good folk of Lesser Edale could still endure sleepless nights due to bizarre wailings of the beast on nights of the full moon. Readers of the Scoop are reminded of their esteemed journal's long-standing danger protocols and are advised that the picturesque gloughs of the Derbyshire Peak District have been declared to be a zone of high danger. Residents of the Midlands are advised to remain indoors at night and to report all mysterious happenings to the police and to the Scoop.
Right. So, dead bodies. On them, 2, 3. What the hell came next after that? On them. Which we thought was strange, so then we started doing some more digging around about what that poem or that little story song could mean. So when I looked back at Mr. Shipley's paintings and figured out that they might be connected somehow. After all, he is a nutter. Problem is, Shipley's never left his London office in years, as far as I can tell, let alone made it down to the Derwent Valley at Leicester Edale, you know what I mean? So, not him, but somehow connected somehow. Or just a strange coincidence. You can decide. Now, lastly, but equally strange, is an Inspector James Barrington. Nice guy, actually. He's been looking into a series of murders in Soho. And guess what was written on these bodies? And he slaps down the piece of paper, the last one in his pockets, to you. Koskov, maybe you can read this one for us. We'll go around the clock.
Sure. Slaughter continues. Reward offered. An unidentified foreigner was found floating in the Thames last Tuesday, the 24th. Another victim in the so-called Egyptian murders? Inspector James Barrington of the Yard refused to comment when asked by the Scoop. Sources exclusive to this journal state that the victim had been beaten severely and then stabbed through the heart in a manner curiously similar to other murders that have taken place over the last 3 years. The connection seems obvious to New Scotland Yard, has yet to confirm that the deaths are connected. Inspector Barrington and his colleagues appear baffled and no closer to catching the heinous perpetrator of these crimes. Londoners cry out, "When will our streets be safe?" Readers of the Scoop are reminded that this esteemed journal has a reward, now standing at £24, for information leading to the apprehension and conviction of the murderer. Be vigilant.
Right. So this Barrington, he comes to us and he says, "Oh, we've got something weird on the body, some painting in black." And you guess what it is. So we start working our way back again through these various different cases and come to the conclusion that someone or some group of people are behind these 3 cases, somehow connected in some way. Bunch of nutters by the sound of things, and fairly odd if you ask me on all of these lot. Either a group of people are getting people killed here in London and England and farther out in New York. So I gets me a call and I hear that there's a case similar. Some writing been found on various walls in New York. I track you guys down, yada, yada, yada. Here we are. So these 3 cases are as of yet unsolved or been considered solved by the local constabularies, but I'm not so convinced. A dead dog don't sound like it to me. I haven't found the killers of these lot that have been turning up in Soho. And Shipley, well, that's not exactly a case, he's just a nutcase. But maybe he knows something, you know? Problem is, nutcases like him are particularly paranoid about speaking with folks from the law. You know, artistic types.
Yeah. Good thing you have people working for you that are not of the law.
That's what I figured. So is there anything you can tell me about this writing that you guys know?
One thing is, it seems to appear seemingly out of nowhere. Unless it just happens while we are not seeing it, I cannot tell you.
Have you heard of the Cult of the Bloody Tongue? in England?
Can't say I have. I know I have a few cult activities, but none of them go by that name.
Could you give us the name of those cults, if you wouldn't mind? They could be connected.
I suppose I could do some digging for you, but most of it's just a couple of, nerds hanging out in libraries talking about stuff.
Well, it could be useful. You never know. However, I would strongly recommend putting some, as you would say, feelers out for something like the Cult of the Bloody Tongue. Do we have a drawing of the symbol that they stick in their forehead? Do we have a sketch? Yeah, I think I'll sketch to give it to him and say, this is. Yes. They're normally tattooed this on their forehead, or perhaps a different part of the body. I'm not sure, but it might be a good idea to look out for that. They have been quite linked with the activities in New York.
I see. So you think this is all cult-based activity then? Bunch of nutters going around doing this for some ancient god or something?
Without the nursery rhyme, I would say no, they were all separate. But it's the nursery rhyme that keeps coming back that has me wondering. Just out of curiosity, Will, has it been made public, the nursery rhymes in public newspapers in America? No,
that isn't public information.
Okay, that's in that case definitely very odd then. Yeah. So yeah, it's not been made public, so that is what has got me. I mean, I can't believe it is just mere coincidence, particularly because of the timing.
So this Cult of the Bloody Tongue, they're the ones who have been doing these drawings in America.
The one that I gave you the sketch is the tattoo that they do, but with the nursery rhymes, was it the Cult of the Bloody Tongue that did them? I think it was. Or at least wherever they went, the rhyme was there most of the time.
I'm not so sure that the cult itself, at least not alone, is the one writing the nursery rhymes.
No.
Dr. Mordecai Lemming, when we searched his house, his upper floors, his library, and this is a man, an occultist, a collector in New York, just outside of New York, I found traces of the same paint material that is used always, the same color, that black, to paint these nursery rhymes, and we've been seeing the nursery rhymes for 6 years now. The first time we saw it was down in Peru. And the men down there that we were involved with were murdered 6 years later in New York City, and they had the same paintings on their chests. And back then, I thought they were the ones who did it, but I was obviously wrong. I do think there's a connection. I'm not sure what it is, but somehow we're involved.
Huh.
Mr. Hare, do you believe in the supernatural?
Depends on what you mean by that, I suppose. Like seances and shit.
Sure. For instance, some of these things that the newspaper clipping here says of Miles Shipley, his drawings. Do you believe that there are otherworldly creatures? And
you talk about aliens, mate.
Perhaps. Or ghosts.
Or
She gives her a skeptical look. Can't say I've ever seen any aliens myself. Let's keep an open mind, I guess.
What about
ghosts? You see this? Koskov points to the burn down his face and neck. He's like, got that in Peru. I cannot tell you what I thought. I just know that it is not of this world.
All right.
We all saw it, Mr. Hare, down in a temple, a pyramid, a lost pyramid in Peru, back when we first were beginning to see the nursery rhyme appear. An otherworldly creature that I cannot explain. And I think that somehow the cult of the bloody tongue, or at least someone involved with whatever's happening, is connected to this otherworldly creature. I don't know if they worship it, or I really don't know, but there is something going on here. Something that defies easy explanation. And I think if you're going to work with us and we're going to work with you, I want to be clear about that right away, that we need to be looking at answers that go outside of the normal realm of possibility.
All right. Let's say I'll keep my mind open then, in case, you know, these nut jobs have got something going for them outside of stuff that we normally can see. As long as we can get rid of them, that's all I'm worried about, really, no matter what it takes. That's our job.
I will say this. Just keep your eye out for maggots. You'll know when you see them. If they are connected, that is.
Maggots? Where have I had maggots before? Oh, you. He looks at Ernest. I was reading up on your studies and works and stuff. Shit about maggots in there and a lot of complex words. Science shit, you know?
That's right, yes. Yes, those were the very maggots that we found in Peru that I have been studying. You know, how they got so large, what potential scientific things that we could use for them. But it does seem to be connected to everything that we have been doing, so it is very wise to keep an eye out for them. And these aren't just normal little maggots, I'm talking some the size of your fist. Inside bodies, anything like that. Any bodies come up with maggots inside that big, keep an eye out for it.
I'll keep an eye out for any body-sized maggots. Yeah, I'll try and do that in my own fucking time as well. Alright. Well, if you want some suggestions on some folks you could talk to when you're in London, then one of the authors, writers of a scoop, bunch of shit journal it is, but pretty good stuff sometimes. Mickey Mahoney is his name. It's an Irish fella. Does a bunch of investigating work. Think he knew your mate Jackson Elias as well. Might be worth talking to. Then there's James Barrington, who's officer who's handling Soho cases. He's worth a chit chat too. Good guy as far as I can tell. And he's been looking for any help he can get on the case, so he might be able to provide you with some more information on it. Then there's Shipley. Mad twat that he probably is. Go give him a chat up. See what he's got to say, if you can get inside the building, of course.
Sorry, who was the first person again?
Mickey Mahoney.
Mickey...
Irish fella. Be careful around that lot. They're not exactly friendly. He's got offices in London, though. East side. Better scope, you'll be right.
What is his work?
The scoop.
Oh yes, that's what
journalism.
Journalism.
As such as they call it, that is at least. But if there's anyone that knows about weird shit going on, it's probably him.
Mm.
Mr. Hare, have you seen any indication that the Penhew Foundation is involved with this? We were going to England, and one of the folks that we wanted to talk to, somebody at the Penhew Foundation. Are you familiar?
I've heard of it. Gavigan. He's the chap that runs it, right? Funded Carlyle expedition. Yeah, I've heard of him. As far as I can tell, that's all upstanding. Gavigan, though, he's got a house in Essex. There you go, look at. That's where he lives. And his offices are in London, West Side. Penny Foundation might not be too easy to get into, though, unless you're going to show some kind of identification. But they'll probably let you in if you call ahead, get a meeting for him. Maybe Gavigan knows you. I haven't met him myself, but he's one of the hobs to knob with, if you get my drift. Anything else?
How do we contact you if we need help from the British government?
All right, give me a fucking ring. Come by my office if you want. Long Embankment, Victoria Square, not far from there. You can come find me.
And if things get heated, get dangerous, and we need very quickly to get the help of London's finest, make sure they understand we're working with them and not against them for whatever reason, is there anything that we can show them? Do you have any sort of, I don't know, special government pass or something that we can flash them so they know that we're with them?
Your IDs have been cleared of them, so you show them that. But
right.
If it's life and death and you're about to get shot, then I suggest you get the fuck out of there before you try and show them any badges. Shout police or something. I don't know. You kept alive this long, you'll be alright.
Well, I don't think I have any further questions.
I should make it known to you though, you lot are protected, you guys have got coverage, you have insurance and shit. Those two that you're with, while you're allowed to share any information with them about the case, seeing as you guys are all on it together, seeing as they haven't signed, then they don't have the same access to shit, you know what I mean? So,
No.
Yes, I understand.
I might not be able to help them if it came to a life and death.
Well, I mean, you can always still go back and see if they are willing to sign now. They've had a few days or weeks to talk it through. Perhaps they are more willing now. Although
Somehow I doubt it.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe
you're right.
Kathy though. Say we.
Well, you're still working together.
Alright, I'll go have a little chit chat with her. See where things stand.
Okay.
So he leaves you the newspaper clippings and the other information that you need. Catherine, where would you be found alone? Or
Right.
relatively alone? Yeah.
I don't know if she'd really be leaving her room much. She'd probably go down to the bar, maybe on occasion, just to like pick up a couple of drinks, bring them back to the room. But she'd generally be staying pretty close to Marcus. So.
Okay, he'll catch you when you're down on the bar to catch a drink on your own at some point during the 2-week period. He'll sit down in the seat next to you. Yeah, love. I like what she's having.
Well, hello there again.
Have you had a chance to reconsider?
Oh, I've been thinking about it a bit. I can't say I'm not interested, but I don't think I'll be staying in England for very long. A day or two at most. Then heading back home.
I see. Day or two at most. Where the fuck are you going in? Ireland, is it?
Oh, I don't live there anymore.
Bet you don't.
Africa now.
Bet you don't. Well, that's a shame. But have a nice time in America.
Ugh. Not America.
Where
I don't think I'll...
Where the fuck are you going? I'm drunk.
Africa. You know, that continent. All right. Well, I
You have a nice
changed my
quiet
mind.
life there, though. You come find me. I've got offices, haven't I?
All right. But if something comes up and minds get changed, I'll let you know.
Good luck with that. Well, if you want some excitement and something to do, then you know where to find me. If you want to fuck off back home, you can do that as well, love.
All right. Well, cheers.
Just so you know, highly dangerous cases they're working on, those three lads.
Highly dangerous.
Yeah. I mean,
you're working
I
with
can
the
see why you would
Irish
want to
mob.
do it. Irish mob? Right. There was an Irishman involved, but 2 and 2 don't make 5, you know what I mean?
You said dangerous. I was thinking England. No main thing that came to mind.
Well, if you get involved with the wrong folks, I guess that could be dangerous, but no, take a look at these. And he kind of slides over the newspaper clippings.
He slides them over anyway.
Yeah.
She'll thumb through them, I guess, and she'll be like, "Well, you certainly are." And, what's the newspaper publishing again? The Scoop.
The Scoop, yeah.
The Scoop. Interesting.
What's wrong with Scoop? Fucking love the Scoop. I scoop all day long. All day,
I
every
bet you
day.
do. That doesn't surprise me in the least.
Oh, scooper. Yeah. But we reckon there's something to them. All these bodies showing up, you know. Your mates reckon it's ritual, like cults and stuff.
Well, it's related to things that are happening in America. Probably is.
Yeah, it seems to be following you lot everywhere, doesn't it?
Hopefully not for much longer. She
I'm
just
sure-
takes a long drag off the gin. She's
I'm sure Africa's totally safe. Not like round here, very dangerous indeed. But well, you know where to find me if you need to find me. You can keep those.
All right.
Take a look over them, see if anything takes your fancy.
All right then. I think I will. Thank you very much.
Oh, did you hear the
It's
news?
quite- Aside from these,
Africa just reminded me of it. You know, Carlyle, the expedition.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, pretty famous. They all just died in Africa. And he slaps down a newspaper. And it reads, Carlyle expedition murdered in Kenya. Bodies found. And then there's some graphic images of some body soap. Yeah, I just came in today. Well, hot off the next morning's press.
Oh, well, that's very interesting indeed. From what I heard last, our expedition was going quite well. I'm sure Marcus would be interested to hear about this.
I didn't find Carlyle himself. His body's missing, apparently, but the rest of them. Gruesome stuff. Butchered, by the looks of things. I reckon by locals who thought they were trespassing on their grounds, that kind of thing.
Potentially.
Could be cult related, but who knows? Hopefully he's
Who
still
knows?
alright, you know?
Hopefully.
Maybe Africa's not so safe after all, eh?
Is anywhere really safe these days?
Not with you around. Alright. And he downs his drink and leaves.
Yeah, I think Catherine's gonna just kind of follow suit, like, look, all right, and then find Marcus to show him first the Africa article about the Carlyle expedition, because I'm pretty sure we would be keeping tabs on that.
Yeah, you guys will probably, a whole group of you will, on the last day before you're into England, into the coastline, this news is circulating all around, and it's quite a hubbub of people very, excitedly and dramatically showing one another the papers, because this is quite a famous expedition. People would have followed it weekly in the newspapers, and the fact that they are all dead, and it's very kind of famous sort of playboy, Carlyle himself and his rest of the team brutally found dead, is a very high profile piece of news. So it's all the talk on the ship today. So you take this to Marcus?
Mm-hmm. Marcus, did you hear about the Carlyle expedition, dear? I'll just, hand him the newspaper.
He would pay it its due to, read the article to the point where understanding. You offended the wrong person. And he slides it back. It's Kenya. This man had no business being there.
It's true. Still, little. Wasn't expecting the expedition to go that way. Yeah, that's all.
We could have very easily ended up the same way in Peru.
Don't remind me. Ugh.
Tricky is to know where you belong.
And we belong in South Africa.
You certainly don't belong here. These men with this mission, it makes no sense.
What if it follows us to South Africa?
I'd prefer to have home field advantage.
All right then. And she'll just kind of leave the articles that she had, kind of leave them out. And she's also been reading Africa's Dark Sects on this boat ride because we had 2 weeks to read it. I had to emphasize the sect.
It's a pretty interesting read. Yeah.
Cool. Didn't have time previously. We were all running around for the cops, so... Yeah,
What are the pictures like?
Very graphic.
Very graphic, yeah. I did, they are. Africa's Dark Sects, if you have like 2 weeks to read through this thing, actually you gotta find, I think there's some like stat bonuses that come in with having had the chance to read this one.
Okay.
Either way, Nigel Blackwell's book will give you a fairly graphic account of various different cult activities, largely in Africa, as one might suspect. Let's see. As for the cult of the Bloody Tongue itself, okay, yeah, here's actually what happens. Roll me a d10.
Oh boy.
You lose 2 points of sanity for reading this book.
That's not that bad.
You die.
You instantly die. I gotta roll. Why not? And okay. You gain 2 Cthulhu Mythos points.
Oh, cool.
And you learn a spell.
Oh no!
Yeah, and it's basically this. It doesn't say spell cast here, but basically you're reading all about how they this depiction of how you create. Basically, let me see if I can describe this creature to you. I think there's a stat block here. Yes, there is. Sorry, while I dive around this gigantic PDF. It is a...
You're fine. It gives me time to write notes. Read Africa's Dark Sects.
Oh, there it is. Wait. Scroll.
Learn the spell.
Okay, it is a Kimba. Ciimba, and the spell is Create Kimba. It is described as a monstrously strong undead horror. This creature is fucking crazy. Let me see if I can find you the exact spell components. See Appendix B, spells. There it is. So it is basically Create Zombie. Developed by Kikuyu sorcerers of Kenya, this spell creates an undead servant. The person chosen to become a Kimba must die by ritual mutilation. The priest then chants over the remains of the body from the moment life leaves it until it reanimates approximately 18 to 20 hours later. The Kimba will perform mundane and simple tasks such as guard this, fetch this, or kill them. The Kimba created in this manner continues to rot after it has risen. So the priest must periodically mutilate new enemies to create more undead servants. Casting time 1 day. Cast 12 magic points and 1d6 sanity points. I'll send this in the group chat.
Great.
Oh.
That's fantastic. Exactly what I wanted to get from reading this book.
This basically is very familiar to you, having seen the Guardians and undead horrors that you've seen both in Peru and also in the basement of the House of Juju. And so, yeah, that's kind of what you learn.
Great.
You're not sure if this works, but they certainly believe that it does, and having seen what you've seen, yeah.
A little unsettling then. All right then. I don't think I'll be needing that.
What are the rules for teaching somebody else a spell? If she would tell Marcus about it?
I'm not sure. I have to go read up on.
It was Kenyan in origin, correct?
You have to spend. I mean, it says 6 weeks in the book, but seeing as we're not going to spend another 6 weeks of Catherine just reading this book, I'm sure it's 2 weeks. So yeah, several weeks reading this book, and it'll probably take her as long to like translate that to you, I guess. Yeah. Because you learn the spell after you've read the whole book, I'm pretty sure. You can go look that up. There is a spell book. But yeah. She could probably at least relay the basics of what it is to you.
Yeah, she probably would.
That's what you need when you're trying to reanimate the dead. The basics.
Yeah, it's me like... Dummies, guys.
Don't bog me down with all the details. Just tell me how to bring something back to life.
1, 2, 3, man.
It's the fundamental count.
Reanimate. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, amazing. All right then. So, is there anything else you guys would like to do while on this journey? Good.
Let Marcus read the book too. No.
Awesome. Well, we're going to give away a set of dice at this point as well. Thanks to the 20 retweets, so you guys can enter in chat with close point loot. But while that's happening, the rest of you guys will see jolly old England arriving in the distance as you guys will be making land shore. In the next couple of minutes here. The White Line Cruiser takes a long time to get everyone off it, and there are people going on, etc., etc. But after about maybe an hour or so of getting off this thing, you guys will find yourselves in the Portside district of East London, and you guys find yourselves there together. Your cars and your vehicles are also like unloaded, so that'll take you guys a little while to get out. So Greg had to run for a minute, but he's going to send us telegrams. He's following Catherine. As you guys get off the ship and into England, the smog and smell of fish and industry is all around you. And for Lucian, this is a familiar sight and some familiar smells, maybe even comforting to know that you're back home. For the rest of you, London is not a clean place at all at this time. So it's smoggy, it's foggy, and it's very bad for your lungs. But may you guys find yourselves.
The East End is, anyway.
This is much nicer.
Pretty most of London by today's standards is.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
It's much nicer than my hometown of Tula, I'll tell you that. It's a good place, Doctor.
Yes, and you haven't seen the best parts yet. We've got wonderful theatres, lovely parks. London has everything a man could want. And he.
How about brothel?
Well, I'm sure that you can find one. I've never been to one, but we're in the East End. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 brothels around here.
Yes, there are indeed 1 or 2 brothels in the East End. There's one. There's one.
Koskov gives the doctor a knowing wink and nudge with his arm. Of course, you've never been.
No, I haven't. Anyway, don't forget Tennessee. Also, when you're driving left-hand side, left, just to make sure.
Oh yeah. I know how you Londoners like to drive. It's silly, I think. I like our way better, but I am in your country as it is. Speaking of, are we staying at your house, Doctor?
Well, you see, I don't have a house. I have an apartment. It's a nice apartment.
So are we staying at your apartment?
Yes, of course. It's best if we keep together while doing this, I guess.
I call the tub.
Yeah, very well. Tennessee, should we get in your car and you can drive us? I'll direct you.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to drive us. Is Catherine with us at this point, or are they separate?
We'd probably be.
Together?
Yeah, we'll probably be all together in the same area at least. Getting our bags together and stuff.
Catherine, what are your plans now that you're here?
Oh, I didn't really have any plans for the first day. We've got some telegrams to send out to take care of business here before we head out, I think. I've got a couple brothers here. Figured I'd try to reach out and see if one of them was available to meet up.
Well, if you want, I can give you a ride. We can all go over to the doctor's place together.
Yes, you are both more than welcome to stay in my small apartment.
Is there a place for my car? Do you have a
You can park it
place
on
for
the
me to
street.
park?
Yeah, it's
All
on
right.
the street.
That works for me.
It's up to you, Mrs. Jordan. You are more than welcome. And it is a significantly better looking street than this.
Well,
It's down in Chelsea, you see, so it's quite...
Oh, down in
quite
Chelsea.
well, yes.
But I'm stopping by, but I'd hate to intrude. I think we'll get a hotel room nearby, probably.
Very well, no problem. But should you change your mind, and he's going to write his address on a piece of paper and give it to her. He goes, should you change your mind, you're more than welcome to join us. And there's also my telephone number on there as well, should you need to get in contact with me or any of us. I'm sure that
Certainly.
we'll be around each other.
We should probably get some dinner together before we head out. I know you've all got a lot of things to do, but I don't really think we're terribly busy today.
Honestly, I would much rather get home. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Understandable.
We could always meet up for a drink afterwards, get unpacked, have a drink, talk about where we're going next.
Absolutely. There's a lovely little pub not too far from where I live. Called the Pig and Whistle. It's very nice. Traditional
Pig and
British
Whistle. I like the sound of it. Well, if you're buying, Doc, then I'm there.
I suppose I could buy a pint or two. Anyway,
I will get first round. We go.
I would love to stay in your house and eat all of your food, thank you. Where can I put my coffee?
Could be a lot of food in that house, considering it's been empty for God knows how long.
Yeah. So Catherine and Marcus are going. You guys make dinner arrangements to meet tonight at the Pig and Whistle, and Tennessee, Koskov, and Lucian. So you drive through to Chelsea, which is a distinctly nicer part of town than the one which you first found yourselves in. So you find yourselves going through the rugged and sometimes rough streets of London as the smells of smog once again fill your nostrils until you reach Chelsea, which is decidedly nicer and cleaner as well to some degree. And Lucian, what does your house look like? What's your little apartment? Is it townhouse? Is it separated?
It's an apartment. It goes through. It's probably got one of those quite luxurious apartments. As everyone knows, London is ridiculously expensive to live in, and there wasn't a huge amount of space. So they probably have one of these very old kind of like townhouses that were converted into apartments. And he's got. It's quite large. It's got multiple rooms. It's got a nice little balcony. There is only one like master bedroom. There is a nice little lounge area to sit down with a library and not a big library, but a bookcase or two full of books. A nice little kitchen and a separate bathroom on the side. It's quite pleasant for what you would call a luxury apartment in the 1920s, I suppose you could say.
Yeah.
There would be kind of like what they would call like a janitor, but someone who maintains the whole building. It's kind of like a reception, prevent people from just walking in, helps with mail, cleans things, does everything like that. But yeah, it's not too bad. It probably is a little too small for 3 people, and definitely too small for 5. Absolutely. So there will be people sleeping on couches and bathtubs. But apart from that, it's very pleasant. Very pleasant.
So you guys step through, and if you guys have ever left on a holiday for a couple of weeks, there's just a pile up of letters that have come through the door. And because Lucian's been away for so long, it's a huge pile of just like crap which has been thrown through your door, which you begin to sort through, bills and letters and things from your doctor's office, etc. And then just trash mail. So you step through into this, very nice apartment, but it's obviously not big enough for 5 people. And reacquaint yourselves with the furniture, etc., and the various different rooms where you might be staying and that kind of thing. So you guys settle in for maybe an hour as you take a look around, and then once you've set down your bags, parked your car, etc., gotten some food maybe, what is it that you guys plan to do? By this time it's mid-afternoon, so you've got a couple of hours.
Probably to ring up my practice. Tell them to get a substitute doctor in, say that I won't be working for 6 months. I'm taking like a 6-month hiatus.
They probably already got one in, I guess.
Probably, yeah, but just to tell him to extend the contract for it, and just to keep things ticking over, really, and then just slowly go through his mail.
Okay.
Just sort things out.
Okay, so you guys are sort of settling into the house a little bit. Meanwhile, Catherine, where is it that you are headed?
She'd make sure all the telegrams got sent, and then she'd probably kind of get a hotel room for herself and Marcus, probably near the doctor's home address, just in case something went wrong. She knows they will have mutual backhabbing in case of emergency. So get a hotel, send out telegrams, and just wait for a response. Basically, organize stuff, get prepared, get rearmed, because back in the city, no longer on the boat. You gotta heightened awareness. What's going on here? Okay. So,
absolutely. Okay. Here's what you get back from one of your personal telegrams. Is that one of your brothers is in town at the moment, your brother Cole Maguire, and he would very much like to meet you at a local sort of Irish pub which is in the area, to sort of catch up.
Yeah, she would definitely drag her and Marcus down there.
Okay, so both of you going? Cool. All right, we'll get to that when Greg's back.
No, she's actually probably met Marcus or not, so...
Yeah, that might be a first time.
She doesn't come this way very often, because she's not exactly allowed back in Ireland, so...
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So Tennessee, Koskov, and Lucian, what's your next step in your lines of investigation? Are you doing anything today, or are you just sort of waiting for dinner? Or are you following a lead?
Well, I don't know about you two, but I feel that we take today off. We relax, get settled, and then we start tomorrow.
But I feel we should at least talk to Jordans about...
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Their, shall we say, commitment to seeing this through. Marcus seems very detached.
I'm almost certain that he's going to try and leave as soon as he possibly can, which in all fairness, I do not blame him. I wish I could.
we can all make our own decisions. If they decide that they're not going to be a part of this, I just wish that they're safe.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm sure he's doing what he thinks best is what best for both of them. Further away from this, the better, I imagine. But it would be nice to have a drink and a meeting with them before they go.
A long time ago, Jackson Elias gave me a number to the Penhew Foundation. Now, this foundation, its name's come up a couple of times. We've crossed paths with it, but never directly spoken to anyone from there.
I have.
I think I would like to call in and maybe at least set up a meeting. You know, we could take the night off, but at least set up a meeting. Because if they knew Jackson Elias, then they might be connected to some of these other people that we're investigating now, too.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think I have their number around here. They were the actual company that I used to go through to the Peru expedition.
Oh, really?
See, and he kind of goes through. Ah, here we go. Here you go. Here's the number. You should be able to get through to them. Maybe, what's the time? He checks his watch.
Afternoon, they'd be in offices.
Okay, yes, they should be in. So if you want to give them a call now.
Well, I'll give them a ring. And you said you went through them before, so if I
That's right.
use your name, they'll...
Well, I mean, it was a long time ago. It was over 7 years ago. So whether or not they still remember me is another thing. But, I mean, you're more than welcome to give it a go, I guess.
Oh. And Tennessee will call the Penhew Foundation, see if you can get a hold of anybody.
Okay. Yeah, you're connected through after a little while, and the phone picks up to a sort of prim and proper sounding voice. Thomas Kinnery, Penhew Foundation. How can I help you?
Good day, Thomas. This is Tennessee Gray. I am calling on behalf of me and a few of my associates. We would like to set up a meeting to speak with someone. I'm not sure who we should talk to be honest. We are working with the government here in Britain, and we have a few questions that we think the Penhew Foundation might be able to help us out with, revolving around a man named Jackson Elias.
Oh, yes. Mr. Elias is a known associate of the Penhew Foundation for many years. Perhaps I can see if I can set something up with Mr. Gavigan for you, Mr. Gray.
Oh, that would be fantastic, yes. And what was your name again?
Thomas Kinnery, sir. I am merely a secretary here.
Well, Thomas,
Please
I
hold for
appreciate
one
you.
moment. He goes and you can imagine him checking his schedule planner right now and looking through Mr. Gavigan's various meetings appointments. Oh, yes, he has a brief amount of availability tomorrow at noon. That works for you.
Fellas, tomorrow at noon. Any objections?
I can wake up early.
No, that seems fine.
Well, tomorrow at noon sounds great to me. There'll be at least 3 of us, maybe up to 5 of us.
May I write down those names, Mr. Gray? We do require everyone to sign in upon arrival.
Oh, absolutely. My name is Tennessee Gray, as I mentioned before, and you might be familiar with one of my companions, Dr. Lucian Ernest.
I'm afraid I'm new here, sir, but I will look up the name for certain in our books.
All right, and my friend here, he just goes by the name Kos, K-O-S. And then maybe 2 more as well, the Jordans, Marcus and Catherine Jordan. That's with 2 A's. And as I said, I'm not sure if they'll be coming or not.
Very good, sir. And this is, as you mentioned, government business. Very good. Well, I will make sure that Mr. Gavigan is ready for your arrival tomorrow at noon.
All right. Thank you again, Thomas. I appreciate it.
Likewise, sir. And hangs up.
Hangs up. Sorry, I didn't give him your name. For some reason, I just thought that maybe you didn't want to go by your full name while you're here in England, Koskov.
Hey, I have British government behind me. I have nothing to fear.
All right. Well, that's fair. Well, we have a meeting tomorrow at noon. Seems as good of a place as any to start, and I am hungry. I'm looking forward to a drink and some food.
Yes, we have good food at Pig and Whistle.
Yes, excellent food.
What do you suggest we order there?
Well, it all depends. They do a very good steak, but you could also have a good old fashioned roast beef with a few carrots and gravy, a few roast potatoes, something we call a Yorkshire pudding. I'm not sure if you understand what that is. It's very nice, very nice.
Understood almost nothing you just said.
It's good food. I will point out things that look very nice. Okay.
He's speaking English?
I'm homesick.
It's been so long.
Well, before we head out, Koskov would reach out to his contacts here just to,
of course,
go ahead and get that out of the way.
Let's say that you sort of reconnect, and you let everyone know that you're back in town. Basically, that's what the call is, I guess. That you're down for business again. Let's cut to Catherine. Catherine, let's say for the moment that either Marcus wanted to stay back home or that Colm told you to come alone. And you, knowing Colm, would have reason to understand, I think, why he might ask you to come alone. Being involved with the people that he's involved with. So you turn up to this pub. It's sort of on the other side of the town from probably where you're staying if you're close to Chelsea. And it's fairly raucous when you enter in, sort of afternoon, evening time, where a lot of people here drinking. It's obviously an Irish pub. The clientele, majority Irish folk who are drinking and just having a good time. And it's a very sort of lively and sort of friendly atmosphere in the pub, actually. And when you step in, the bar manager. Oh, in fact, Marcus is here, so maybe we can have Marcus at the scene as well.
Marcus can come.
Back just in time, Greg. Greg, Marcus, and Catherine have been invited to meet with Colm, Catherine's brother, who's here in town. And so you've just sort of walked into an Irish pub. It's raucous, it's friendly inside. The bar owner seems to sort of like nod to a couple of guys who are on a back door. And they were sort of drinking. They look like heavies, but they weren't really like on guard, I guess. They're sort of like drinking some pints. And the two of them sort of like nod over towards you and like hold the door open for you.
Thank you very much. Shall walk on through.
You head into the back room, the two of you, and they close the door behind you. Inside, there is your brother, Colm, who greets you with a smile and a big hug. He's sort of a bear of a man, and sort of like grabs you in this big hairy embrace as he hasn't seen you in many years. Catherine, great to see you. And
it's been far too long.
He looks older than you've last seen him, obviously, because time has passed. But there's also an aging behind his eyes. You can tell that he's not really the same youthful individual that maybe you remember growing up. I've been well, thanks. And he looks at Marcus. So this must be your husband.
Oh yes, Marcus. This is my brother Colm. Colm, this is my husband, Marcus.
He gives you a long, sort of like sizing up and down glare. Come in for a hug, man. Yeah, he's huge.
I mean, Marcus is 6'6", so it's...
Catherine has really big brothers. It's probably like, pretty close.
Yeah, he's probably short, but he's big, he's stocky, and so he brings you into his bear-like embrace. And says, brothers, well, let's get a drink in here, shall we? What are we all drinking?
Your place, your pick.
Whiskey. And whiskey is shortly brought in for everyone. And he sits down at a table opposite the two of you and sips at it. Says, so, it's great to see you. What the hell are you doing here?
Oh, well, we just, we're doing a little bit of work back in America. Never going back there again. It sucks. It's awful. Don't go to New York City.
Not in my next couple of 100 years plans. Never go to that place.
Good. And then I'm thinking we're probably going to head back home to South Africa soon.
Soon? You got to stay in town for at least a little while.
Well, I do believe Marcus had a bit of business. He had to hear back from a couple of people about things before we could head back, so we'll be here for at least a couple of days.
That's good, at
We'll be
least.
here for a drink.
That's good to hear. Well, it'd be great to have you back. I gotta show you around to everyone and let you know who you are. Everyone's gonna be very excited as soon as I told everyone. They were very happy to hear that you were back, so there you go. So what is it you're doing in town? Business? Or just here to see me?
Here to see you. A little bit of business, but
Bullshit.
actually not working right now. So, you know, thinking about retiring.
So you're unemployed and so you come back to England. That's a shithole. What the hell are you doing here?
Passing through.
I wish I could say the same, but there's work to be done here.
The band's still together. You know, the one we used to
aye.
pull heists with.
Oh, aye. We're all here. You know, we do what we can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that,
Good.
seeing as he's family, he's cool, right? He's on the level?
Definitely.
I'm cool.
All right, big guy. Well, you know why you're here and all. I was wondering, maybe you guys, if you could lend me a hand or something, you know, while you're passing through, of course.
Did you get into trouble?
This is a little thing. Couple of guys have been killed. Soho. Couple of killings. We're not sure what they are. Probably gang related, but not us guys. Not my men. But this officer, this fucking Barrington guy, seems to be under the impression that my guys are involved somehow. And so he keeps coming knocking round. You know, he's getting a little bit too close for comfort. Usually we would see these things ourselves, but he's kind of high profile. We don't want to draw too much attention to this place.
Members of the Irish mob.
Well, I don't know. That's a problem. It's fucking weird. I don't know if you've seen the papers. You're new in town, so maybe you haven't, but there's strange killings happening. We don't know who they are.
Laying low, right? Just keeping it.
Oh, aye. Laying low, but we're not exactly comfortable here at the moment. Things are getting a little antsy. With the cops knocking on the door every other day, it's only a matter of time. They've even taken in a couple of the lads. Now, they won't rat anyone out, but morale isn't exactly high.
I see.
I was thinking, because, you know, you two being officials and all, maybe you could have a conversation with this Barrington, you know. Let him know that we're on the up and up.
Catherine can't just just that slow look over at Marcus.
We haven't done well with law enforcement recently, and this sounds eerily familiar. But if you believe it would help in some official capacity, surely we can see something to them.
All it needs is just a word here. Problem is the guy won't listen to us. And he can't take bribes. I mean, we've tried. This guy, clean as a whistle. You know, one of those hoity-toity types. Yeah, the worst. So if we take him out, it's they'll all come crawling down on us because they'll link it back. But if he finds out anything, then they'll just, try and take more of the lads in as they go. So I was thinking maybe an official route might be the way to go.
Well,
I'm not sure what a foreign correspondent can do to sway a officer of the court, but I'll certainly try.
Well, consider it a family favor.
No favor. Favors require repayment. This will be free of charge, as it is family. But, once again, expectations should be set low.
Anything you guys can try. Well, I'm out of options here, so I appreciate it. If there's anything we can do for you while you're in town, then don't hesitate to ask.
of course.
It's a strange place to be at the moment, London. Best be careful at night. People go missing. No one knows what it's about, but it's not good. It's got the lads spooked.
Very strange. Very strange indeed. Well, once this all blows over, yes, I'm sure it'll blow over. If you need a good arms dealer, I know a guy.
And if you need a transient that lives in his car or a questionable physician.
Probably done the questionable physician. That sounds pretty good, actually. Someone that's not going to ask too many questions.
My driver. It's a bit frightened being in the same vehicle, but
Sounds like you've got your own crew of your own nowadays.
to a certain extent. At least people we can rely on, to a certain degree.
That's good. You're keeping safe then.
Oh, always. Except for New York Police Department. She kind of just gestured to what's like slowly healing on her face. That's why we're not in New York anymore.
Can't trust the cops.
Got a pen right in his eye though before I did that though.
Good. Good. Well, let's get some drinks in here, and our business can wait.
It's good seeing you again. How's Liam?
Not so good.
What's going on with Liam? The rest of the family? Mom, Dad?
We're not exactly in constant conversation.
Ah. They found out about it then.
Yeah, I think they probably always knew.
Well, I'll at least send up a telegram while we're here. Just hope they're all in good health.
He's up in, not in London anymore. Settled a new bar.
Really?
Yeah. I can't even remember the name of the place. You know, these fucking places here. Some little county. North of here.
Well, I'll see if I can get a hold of him. Anything you want me to relay if I do?
Oh.
Right. I'll just say you send your love then.
That sounds good.
Till then,
sorry, go ahead.
just till then, lots of whiskey and just drink. Good old Irish drinking night.
Okay.
Yeah, bar montage.
So, the group of you get some drinks, and then probably in quite a stumbling and drunken manner, later that evening arrive at the Pig and Whistle to meet Tennessee Gray, Koskov, and Lucy.
The Irish pub.
Yeah, you guys show up drunk.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
This is going to be a rather... This is a pub for people in Chelsea.
the evening to you.
Jordans! Please come, have drink. I see Marcus has already started.
I see that you
We were
both
at
have
the Irish
started.
pub before here.
Oh, good God. And you'll not call? I thought we were friends.
It was a family visit. My brother was there.
Family.
You didn't drive here, did you?
Of course not. We don't have a car here.
Good. Anyway, should we have a seat, have a few pints ready, and then some food to get into us? Yes. Excellent. Korskov, could you help me with the drinks at the bar?
Nah. He goes up and orders drinks for everybody and a bottle of vodka for himself. And
No. Put all the drinks down in front of you. Sit down. So, what would everyone like to eat? Or would you like to have what I'm having?
What do you have?
Sorry. I'm having the roast.
Family.
The roast dinner with roast beef, carrots, roast potatoes, Yorkshire pudding.
They have cottage pie. I could kill.
Yes,
for cottage pie.
absolutely. They do have a cottage pie. Yes, cottage pie is here.
Do you have like, I don't know, like kielbasa or some sort of pork, some actual pork?
I'm sure they can do you a pork joint or something.
What is a pork joint? Is that like the actual joint of a pig?
Yes.
Why would you eat that?
Why would you not?
Why would you not?
I'll just have potatoes. That sounds good. Just potatoes.
Or just what? Boiled potatoes, roast potatoes, chips. What do you want?
I'll have a little bit of all of them, just to see what I like.
Right. Okay.
Just gonna like slap him on the shoulder, like, good choice in potatoes.
I will have steak.
Steak, absolutely. And Marcus. He'll have the water. And bring some bread and something dry for him.
And more whiskey.
Family.
All right.
Yeah.
Food and drinks are brought. And family.
Catherine, he looks at Marcus and he just gives up. There's no point. So, Catherine, what are your plans moving on? Are you planning to sticking around for a while, heading out of the country as soon as you can?
We've got to talk to somebody about this officer. Real clean cut. Not a spot on his record. He's poking his nose where he doesn't belong, sticking it. And my brother's business.
Your brother?
Family.
Mm-hmm.
So your brother has business.
You should probably talk to him about that business sometime, Koskov. Just after the police are done, sir.
Oh, I see. He's more Koskov business than business.
Well,
I understand.
it is family business, and this is Miss Jordan. So, you know.
Very
So
good
you
point.
say officer. What officer is this that you need talking to?
Officer. What was the name, Marcus? It was so much easier to remember sober.
Was it Officer
Barry-
Family?
Barrington.
That's the one.
Oh, well, we should go.
Marcus
talk
shakes because that came from somewhere he can't get back to.
Well, we need to talk to Barrington anyway.
No, when we say talk, we mean talk, right? Not.
Yes,
No,
of course, talk.
no violence with him because he's investigating some of my brother's friends have been murdered and people in general, and they think it's because of my brother's business, and it's not. And they're poking just all in his business. It's just, they need to not business poking.
Well, we were tasked to talk to him anyway to help solve murders. So if we solve murders and it is not your brother, then that will bring attention away from business. Nah?
That would be.
Well, sounds like we need to stick together on this. Nah?
What is your brother's business?
I think it's best that we
Tennessee, that is not good table conversation with food and
we've
drink.
all seen Father of Maggots, so I just thought we were beyond this point. We could just, moving forward.
Well, yes, but we are in public and people could be listening.
No, you're right.
I think we will talk about this when she's sober,
I'm only half trick. Working on the other half now.
Yes. Well, it seems like we are still working together for a short time, yeah?
Yes.
I think so. We've got to talk to Ossifer Barrington anyway. So.
Oh, and you remember Pew Foundation, huh? We have meeting tomorrow with them if you would like to come along.
Tomorrow at noon. They know Jackson Elias. I thought that.
Marcus, do you want to go to the Ben Hill Foundation tomorrow at noon?
Okay.
Perhaps we have breakfast, we go to Pinhue, and then maybe in the afternoon we go talk to Officer. We make day of it. Go see the sights. Maybe take down some cultists.
Well, maybe not a cultist bit. Everything else sounds great.
It's getting a little stale. I need to hit something. It's okay.
So, instead of talking shop, should we just enjoy ourselves and then we can have a good night's sleep and then discuss this in the morning, yes?
Here, have shot, doctor. Vodka, put hair on your chest.
Very well, very well.
Another bar montage.
Snapshot.
Right. It's a shot of you guys bringing Mark back to life.
Stop. Oh dear.
CPR Marcus growing up, drinking more. Anyway, sorry.
So as you guys get royally destroyed, I'm imagining that you guys all just stumble back to Lucian's apartment.
Yeah.
Because
Go back to the hotel that I booked for.
I called Tub. The tub is mine.
Fuck! I wanted the
Nice.
tub. You can sleep in it and puke in it. It's fine.
She knows. She knows.
Oh, wait, Catherine. I have an absolutely perfect place for you to sleep. Here,
Huh?
here, it's beautiful. And it's basically just a globe. You can sleep on this. It's beautiful. And he hits the globe and he spins and just falls onto the floor with a loud thud.
I think you're sleeping there. You're already on the floor.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? I think I will. Yeah. It's just comfy. It's really comfy.
All right.
And he just crawls up and falls.
Take the medicine.
It wasn't such a good idea to drink this much since we have, a serial murder cultist group after us.
I think that Catherine pushes Marcus onto the bed, and then she kind of just falls, and like and rolls like half the sheet like off the bed, and she's just on the floor, kind of like half under the bed, and just like Marcus is on top of the bed.
Amazing. And so that night, as you guys stumble in and eventually pass out, you don't see that outside a cold and unnatural mist seems to be forming outside your house of London. Because it's fine, because you guys are asleep. And as that cold mist begins to creep its way up through the windows and into your house, nobody notices. It starts to rain very lightly outside. And that is the end of tonight's episode of Call of Cthulhu Masks of Nyarlathotep. The drunken disaster that was tonight's episode, as everyone has got themselves...
Hang on, you're a bit early.
Oh, wait, no, we're early.
Oh, I saw it's 4 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, we end at 4. Like, in my head, I just see 4 o'clock, and I'm like, hey!
Well, we're not having less hours. We're not having less hours.
Everyone. Oh, this is amazing. Forget what I said. Don't worry, we'll cut that all in post. And so...
It won't be.
There is no post. Oh, dear. Well, anyway, I'm so, like, keyed into 4 o'clock being the time.
In all fairness to you, Will, for the past 2 years...
We've been doing this for, like, 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys pass out and fall asleep. And the cold mist enters into the room and crawls along the surface of the floor. Wherever you guys are, there's somewhere at least comfortable where your bodies are resting and have passed out. And Lucian's somewhere on the floor, Koskob's in the bathtub, Catherine and Marcus are close to one another. Tennessee, where's Tennessee gone? Did he go to the car?
Yeah, he decided to sleep in his car after all.
he found the way back to the car. All right. So let's get some. All right. So it's gonna be a hard roll for everyone because you're completely asleep and or very drunk as well. Everyone can roll me a hard spot hidden.
Oh, come on.
By the way, right now, we could all not have to take sanity checks if we saw Cthulhu. We're that drunk. We're like that protected.
Yeah. We're going to look at Cthulhu. Now is the time. Now is the time.
Right.
Oh, dear. Oh, I got a regular success. Bollocks.
I'm not spending 20.
I think Marcus has to be drunk 100% of the time now.
It's amazing. All right, I need more coffee for this because clearly my brain isn't functioning properly. I'll be right back. You guys roleplay whatever drunkenness is happening while you guys are passing out.
Go first.
Mark, you
And
took
then-
too much
What the fuck is that?
covers the bed. She's pulling all the poop off the bed and like her nest underneath the bed that she's created.
And the third time I went to prison, there was man, and he told me to give him kiss. So I punched
Do
him.
it though? Oh.
I kissed him after he passed out, but
Oh,
I punched him.
I would have kissed him first and then punched him in the face.
I love the fact they're having two drunk conversations while sleeping. It's like
I
they're
like.
connected.
They
It's amazing.
probably woke up and then had like a puke conversation because that's what happens when you're drunk. You pass out, then you wake up and you puke, and then you go
Yeah,
back, pass back out again.
She comes
So
in to
this
throw up in the toilet.
Conversation.
You know, if you call top first, you will be safe. Just do not sleep on back.
No,
So
you know,
it's
you
very
gotta
important.
You gotta clean on your side there. Do you want a hand towel for your face?
I'll clean up in the morning because you clean up and you throw up again and you clean up and you
great.
throw up again. I take shower in the morning, clean up once. It is good. I am expert.
I used to be in a band, and we would play at high-end events and venues with my brother Cole, and we'd loot the place. We just steal everything.
Now you loot and then play?
You know, you play your first set, and then after your first set, you loot, you take the break, and that's when you start the looting, and then you play the second set, and then by the time people start noticing things have gone missing, that's when you call it, you're done, and then you leave, and then they will never realize it was the band, because if you skip out after the first set, they'll catch on. You gotta play the second set.
Yeah.
Go first.
Right. I'm gonna go back to sleep now, and she just crawls out of the bathroom and back under the bed.
To actually get back to the bedroom, Lucian has moved somehow, so you have to climb over him.
Yeah, just crawl over
You're
him.
just crawling over.
I'll like climb over, and then I'll like grab his like vest, kind of like wipe my face, and then like go back and call the rest of the way.
It's really reminding me of Friday night.
At some point, Mark is still incredibly inebriated. Something just clicks, and the absolute, like the reptilian part of his brain, he sits straight up. What the fuck was that? completely sober.
Oh, amazing.
Like, all the covers have been pulled down and underneath the bed. All the sheets and blankets and like all the pillows. This is just Marcus.
So I think it is only Marcus that spots this.
Yes!
What's going on? So the rest of you passed out asleep or stumbling somewhere in the darkness. Marcus, you sit up and you realize, well, this strange mist appears to have entered into the room through a crack in one of the windows, and it seems to be seeping in as though it were water falling in through a crack and onto the floor and sort of settles down on the floor. It's not like any mist you've ever seen, but you are incredibly drunk.
He will creep over and close the window and see if that stops the fog's progression inside.
Yeah, it does. You step through and like close the shutter, and whatever the sort of like the flow seems to have stopped. You cut it off at the source. There's still a sort of unnatural settling. There's still sort of film of it on the floor, but it doesn't seem to do anything when you move through it. It doesn't seem to have any effect.
He'll stumble very stiff-legged out into, he'll leave this area. So he'll and past the bathroom to the smell of vomit, and he'll open the door that leads out to see if there's like more fog.
Oh yeah, it sort of like rushes in as you open the door. Outside, with your critical success, outside you hear something moving. It's something big, and you smell burnt hair. It's this incredibly keen smell of burnt hair, and something moved out there in the fog. But so thick that you couldn't see it, and as soon as you shut the door, the fog stops again. But it still sort of remains within the room what was let in. And the smell of burning hair won't leave your nostrils.
Open it back up again just to see if he saw it right.
Yeah. To open it at another time, more drifts in. The sound of movement, something heavy that goes bump in the night, seems closer this time. The smell is more intense. You look out there, there's nothing to be seen except from the low layer of fog on the floor. And it's not like the fog is obscuring the street in any way. I mean, there's that light sort of film that comes with mist and fog, but it's not like it's all pervading. You can clearly see down the end of both streets, and there's nothing that you can see moving, but you can hear something down the end of that street coming closer.
Close the door again.
Mm-hmm. You close the door.
To the door. I think it'd be
probably
Koskov in the bathroom,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I am on the floor in the living room.
That's true.
He would be the first one. I'd probably see Lucian first if I turned and saw, instead of looking in the bathroom. He'll go over and try to reach down and move him and fall on top of him.
And Lucian will wrap his arms around and kind of touch him.
Shh. Duck. 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 There's fog and something that smells like... There's fog and something that smells like burnt hair.
It's probably...
Is your hair on fire?
No.
Is mine on fire?
No, it's probably Koskov cooking something.
Does your house have fog
No.
inside?
No, it's just close the window.
Is this a rave? Is there a phone machine? Please say yes.
Lucian's on those bands that has their own traveling fog machine with them, but they're like really small. But the first thing they bought was a fog machine. Right.
Before any
First
instruments.
band purchase.
Or any
It's either that or the wind machine. You go either direction.
Marcus. Marcus.
He's fog. Look. He takes his head and moves it to the side, so he's looking into the fog on the floor.
It's everywhere. So I stood outside and there's burning hair. He's come in, closed the window, went to the door and twice looked. Fog.
You hear the sound of something large moving beyond, past the door. It doesn't stop at the door. It doesn't do anything with the door, but it moves past the door in a very clear sound.
Okay. Marcus.
At the sound of that, Marcus goes shh and puts his finger on Lucian's lips. Shh.
Okay, sweetheart, go ahead.
I think we should open the door and check what it was.
I already
If
did
it's
twice.
passed. Oh, you didn't see anything?
And I rolled a critical success.
Bloody hell. In that case, I think we should keep the door locked and wait until morning. You can stay here if you want.
I think at this point, Catherine crawls out to go throw up in the toilet again, and she just
Just
kind
in
of
the
looks over at
background.
Lucy and she says, "Stop making out with my husband."
Good night, Marcus.
If you kiss
Good
him, I
night,
have to
sweetheart.
kill you.
What?
Oh, definitely. Good night, Marcus.
There's hair and fog. I can't be the only one that smells or sees this.
Yeah, can I smell the hair, the burning hair?
Quite clearly now that Marcus has opened the door a bit.
Lucian wants to have a look. Really does. Lucian's gonna have a look. He's fucking drunk. Why not? He very carefully opens the door and just has a look up and down, very
Nice for him.
quickly. And I'm not sure if he's gonna find. That's a 31, which is a regular success for me.
You heard it move past your house and down into the streets, and as you look outside where, clearly this thing you think should be, you see nothing.
He'll close the door into his back, and I hear it, but I don't see it. I think we should keep this door locked until the morning. And watch. Watch. Yes?
This is your house?
Yes, you're right. That is what we will do. We will watch. And he'll kind of stagger over and just collapse down onto the floor with kind of like his back against some chairs. Yes. We will what? Just pass out straight away again.
You guys might remember that Tennessee Gray is outside in the car somewhere.
Yeah, I was
Lucian
like, man,
does
I would
not-
want to be outside.
Lucian hasn't got a clue. All he remembers is everyone coming back to his apartment. He's assuming Tennessee is somewhere in the apartment.
Catherine assumes that Koskov must have set his hair on fire accidentally, because no one's informed her of anything outside, and she's just been like, toilet, now, crawl.
With Marcus's perception, would he have remembered that Tennessee? Like, if he looked out and saw Tennessee's car, would he be
Yeah,
like,
let's say you'd see the car at least, that might ring a bell.
Tennessee. Tennessee.
Kentucky.
So he'll crack open the door and he'll whisper towards the car,
Tennessee.
There's no response.
Tennessee.
More fog drifts into the house, but the whisper does not penetrate the darkness and the car.
he pulls his gun out. Thinks for a second about shooting a warning shot and then puts it away because there are 8 cars down there. And he doesn't remember Tennessee owning 8 cars.
Tennessee. Fuck, I'll go get him.
Marcus stumbles out.
Please close the door behind you. Please close the door behind you. Please close the door behind you.
Wide fucking open.
I knew it. I knew it.
Have you ever closed the door when you're drunk? Never.
Right. Yeah. The cool fog and mist just pours into the house. Listen, if you're asleep, you're no longer noticing this, other than it is getting unnaturally cold within the place as Marcus steps out into it. Again, you hear a large kind of shudder, a thud of something stepping and like turning towards you, Marcus, from down the end of the street. And then another thud as something gets closer. The smell of burning hair getting stronger and stronger in your nostrils as you head towards the car. With each step, it gets closer.
Tennessee. Tennessee.
Yeah, he's gonna like get to the car and be like,
Tennessee. 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 Tennessee.
Tennessee, there's someone... Yeah,
Inside my
some
car.
noise.
Yeah. Tennessee will pop up and he'll roll down the window and sort of look out and notice, I guess I can see the fog too all around it, and I see Marcus there. But Marcus, everything all right?
Tennessee. Burnt hair. Fog. Come inside.
Why come inside?
he takes the same finger that he touched the doctor with, and he goes, shh.
Listen.
And he waits for the next step of this thing.
Whatever it is slow, but it moves close with each long step. Perhaps now it's 15 feet away from the car, and the smell of burning hair is intensely, it's almost making you retch at this point and throwing you out of some of your drunken stupor, this sudden fear that something is out there, but you look and there is nothing.
New plan. Open door and scoot over.
Get in. And he opens up the door for Marcus.
Listen, I never thought I'd say this before. Drive your car. I don't care where you go. Drive.
All right. Well, if you trust me, buckle up. And
I don't. He gets down into behind the seat, behind the driver's side and passenger side, like in the wheel well, the safest part of the car. Right.
It's stripped down. This is the car that Tennessee has used to race in. So this is as far as he can for an old model like this. It's very uncomfortable to sit in, but there is like a little compartment you can crawl down into in the back. Tennessee is going to get his car started, and he's looking out the front. I can hear something approach, I can smell it approach, but I can't see it approach.
Correct. All of your other senses tell you that it's there, but your eyes do not.
Does it, listening, the sound of its step, like what's it sound like? Like, is it large enough to like create a vibration?
Wet
or
and heavy? There's an almost sort of shuddering, pulling movement, as you could imagine some rest of its body is being pulled along the floor after the step.
But I can't see like a trail. Can I see like a trail that suggests an actual body?
There's no trail. And plus there's the mist on the floor, so that would obscure any signs of a trail.
So he's gotten his car started as he's trying to figure out like what's going on. He says, well, there's only one way to figure this out, and that's to drive right through it. And that's what he does. He gets that car going and he tries to drive straight through what he assumes is a body, is not a body. He wants to know for sure, and he's going to pick up as much speed as he can to make sure that if there is something there, he's hitting it with a lot of force.
Before he describes what happens to us, I need to make this statement publicly. I've said it when you made Tennessee. You are, in fact, Kurt Russell from Death Proof. You are you're just like speed and crashing and death. Go for it. Love it.
You can roll me a drive auto, and it's going to be a hard one.
Yes. A hard drive auto. That is an extreme success.
Nice. So, here's what happens. As you crush the car backwards, headed towards what you would expect to be some kind of immediate impact, you manage to, even in your drunken state, get the car into motion, and you fling it backwards. Where you were expecting a creature to be, or something that you're about to hit, there is nothingness, and you sail backwards into into the back of the building. And then as the car crunches into the back, where you're like thrown forwards by the momentum of it, and you've passed through whatever that was.
Okay, so after he slams the back of the car into the building, he's kind of getting his bearings. He listens again. Does he hear more steps?
It seems to have made the creature, or the sound at least, impossibly faster. As you are sitting there for a moment after the momentum, you hear the sound of it turning, and suddenly your car is being attacked by invisible assailants, and you can feel the pressure of glass just being pounded in by multiple different angles and pressures, almost like bullets, but you can feel that the car is almost like being compacted in on itself right now. Inside, people are waking up.
Pulls in the shower curtain, used as a blanket.
I'm
it is my...
Am I covered in that fog? Because I'm
you wake up and you're incredibly cold with fog all around you.
No, it's cold.
Get up and go into my room. to get the
There's
blanket.
no blankets on the bed.
Why is the front door open? I need to get
What is
outside.
going on?
There's some weird fog, I think.
It's London. I thought that was the deal
But it's
here.
not regular London fog. It's only ground level fog. London fog's everywhere.
I'm
Look
gonna
in the house.
have a look outside just before I lock the door and shut it again.
Lucian was trying to seduce my husband.
When you
I
look
don't-
outside, the car is being picked up by nothing.
I probably go. Okay. No, not dreaming. Something. Gorskov, Catherine.
Yeah. We're like we
mind-
pause, like tug of war on the shower curtain.
Taking a look at this, please, just to show that I'm not going insane. Well,
Let me get the cat out of my eyes. Hold on.
It's a cute cat. I didn't know you had a pet. Such a nice pet, Lucian.
Yes. Yes, he's called
Yes, you
Mr.
have. Well, he would not leave me face alone. He was cleaning. It's gross. Don't worry. What is it? And Kotskov
just-
like comes out, and he's got his shirt and like a vest on, and then like his underwear and his socks and little like garters that hold his socks up.
Just down
and that's
there.
it.
Do you see what I see?
Ugh. He like looks out in the street, sees a car being lifted up and down. I assume. Or do I need to make a spot hidden now?
You can see that pretty clearly. The
Okay.
mist doesn't obscure that. Yeah.
Oh
Catherine,
shit!
wearing Marcus's shirt and has weapons just strapped to her. She never takes them off.
You do see
Where is
that,
it?
right?
Yes.
Wait.
You want me to shoot it? Yeah.
Well, no, you
Oh,
can't
here
just
it is.
shoot randomly in the middle of the street. What the hell is going on?
Well, it's-
At this point,
I mean,
Tennessee Gray and Marcus Jordan to make me strength checks.
Okay. How high up are we off the ground?
That's
At this point, maybe like 5 feet being lifted up. Like it's fairly high for a kite.
but they're being attacked, Doctor. He's attacking our
How
friend.
did I fix that?
It's a hard success for
Um,
Marcus.
Okay, so here's what happens to Tennessee and Marcus. The car's windows almost like implode in on themselves suddenly from the force of what seems like bullets, but they're like, there's clearly some pressure which is holding onto them. The glass shatters, and you can feel something wet and hairy, multiple tendrils reaching into your nose and into your mouth. And it's something that's trying to put it's almost like its fingers, but it's wet and it's hairy into your mouth and up to your nose, and it's reaching up there, and you guys are basically grabbing onto this almost like a hand, which is like shoving itself up there.
Are we able to keep it out of, keep it from going in there?
Having passed your checks, you're like holding it at bay right now.
As the
Alright.
car windows smash and the thing's going, okay, sod the neighbors, get the guns, and he's gonna go in and try to stagger and try and find his a revolver in his
I've
desk.
got
and he's,
one on each thigh and like the. She's always whipped.
So, Will, we can't see these things, but we can feel them, right?
The only thing you can sense is burnt hair. This thing that's shoved into your nose just smells of burnt hair. You suspect that it is hairy and burnt, and you can feel it. It's almost like an elephant's trunk in size in terms of what it's like throwing into your mouth and nose.
Okay, Marcus is going to, as he's holding it, he's going to pull his gun out and just place it against, the base of this thing, and boom, shoot, and then he's going to try to throw himself out the opposite door. I don't know how high he is. He doesn't give a shit. He's drunk as hell. He's trying to get out.
All right. The bullets. So you shoot, and it doesn't seem to affect the trunk in any way. There's no like recoil or there's no lurching from the the trunk. You would clear that even though you can't see it, you imagine that you would have shot it. And that there's no reaction whatsoever. And you can roll me a dexterity and it's going to be hard to throw yourself out of the window. Phil?
It's a success, but it's not a hard success.
Okay, so regular success. So we'll halve that and reduce down. So you lose 1 point of health. You take 1 damage as you just like fall out of the window, and there's shattered glass that you're landing on. You're not landing properly, and so you like land with a thud down by the car at this point. Tennessee Gray, what are you up to?
If Tennessee puts his foot to the pedal, did the wheels just spin? No traction?
Correct.
Yeah, then I guess Tennessee will grab his cane that's sitting in the passenger seat and try to use that to push whatever invisible force is grappling for his mouth, his nose, push it back towards the driver door, and then try to push his way through the driver door. So instead of going out the opposite side, he's trying to force his way out the same side that the force is coming through.
Okay, you can roll me a hard strength.
Okay.
Nice.
It is an extreme success.
You rip the trunk out with blood coming from your mouth and from your nose, and throw yourself out the same side. You may expect that you would land upon this creature, whatever it is, but you fall straight down onto the earth, close to Marcus, and the car is still held up in the air as whatever it is searching.
So he falls into like a 3-point stand on the ground. And I guess he would just reach out for Marcus and say, "We got to get away from this car, Marcus."
Ah!
Catherine, Lucian, and Koskov, you guys, spot. You guys are outside with your weapons at this point, as Tennessee and Marcus have fallen out of a car which is still suspended in midair. There is nothing to be seen.
Okay, so as he sees them kind of fall out, and I'm not sure which direction they're running, does it look like the car, is being like picked up and moved from a obvious point of origin, even though we can't see it?
If you were looking at it, you would see that the car is suspended as though it were picked up from the top.
Oh, okay.
So if
well, in that case,
like a big car magnet, and they like crunch them up. That's sort of what it looks like. Perfect suspension.
Oh, okay. Well, then as they come out, Koskov's just going to pull out his nifty pistol that has shown itself to be a little bit better than normal, and he's just going to like fire above the car.
Could we do something for? Because I'm assuming that's what we're all going to do. Can we just come out, look at each other, and at the same time just go at the same spot?
I imagine that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Feel free to roll dice or shooting here, all of you.
Pulp Cthulhu fiction.
I'll probably just do one. Ooh, if I miss. Oh, I miss. I'm drunk. I'm drunk as hell.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I hit.
Koskov is fine.
Drunk
It's fine.
AF. Koskov shoots himself in
Mine
the
up.
face. I got it!
He's got the gun the wrong way round.
Yeah, he's like looking at it like, how does this work?
I got it.
Amazing. Shots ring out into the night, and if they have any effect, you guys don't know it.
I think I hit it.
There's no sound, there's no response. The one thing that you will see is that the car, moments thereafter, is thrown about 50 feet with an incredible strength. It is thrown down the end of the street and lands shattered after several rolls.
I think we should leave.
Into the apartment now, quickly.
Come, Tennessee, come on. We'll fix later. Come on.
I mean, if I can do that to my car, I can do that to the entire apartment.
Well, if you're within
Marcus is
significantly
holding on to. Marcus is holding on to Tennessee, and he goes, "She's gone. She's gone. Come on!" And he just.
Maybe she'll come back again. All right. Run into the
Come on,
apartment.
we'll all up in
Catherine
the
has
motor
already
second.
gone back into the room, like picks up the bag that they brought in. Because I imagine they dropped most of their stuff off at their hotel room, but they have like a little like her purse, and like she grabs that, but like kind of half pulls on her skirt, and then opens the bathroom window. Because I imagine it points to the other side of the house and it's starting to crawl through. Like it won't catch me if it sees me enter the house and then go out the back alley.
As you guys rush inside the house and slam close the door, moments thereafter, the windows are imploded inwards from a force from outside. And it seems you can hear the wet sounds of these trunks slapping against the windows, and they seem to be searching around, looking for you.
The front of the house or the whole house?
The front of the house, at least for now. You haven't seen around the back of the house at this point. But, like,
Yeah,
if you ever
I'm
reached
that-
into a window and started to look around for a lock, that's kind of what's going on right now.
Quick, Lucian, is your icebox lead lined?
I don't know. Why would I know that?
Of course it is, you fool. I only buy lined ice boxes.
Lucius just gonna say, any suggestions would be very good right at this moment.
We should leave out the back. As Koskov's like pulling his shoes and his pants on. And
Yeah, Catherine's got like one like shoe like tied and the other one's like half on, and you just see the bat like she's opening the bathroom window and is ready to climb out. She's got her purse, Marcus's shirt, and like her skirt's kind of just halfway finagled on. She's like, "We're leaving." Shh.
Oh, my apartment. Oh. And he'll kind of head to the back.
I'll find us another car. Tennessee will run out the back too.
Keep in mind, it's not a back door. It is just literally just one window, and it is a terraced house, so it's just literally you go out, and you'll be lucky if there isn't another building there.
Right.
God.
We don't have gardens in London.
So I guess Tennessee would then try to help the people who are drunkest get through the window first.
nah.
I know. I said it.
They're
We
always
should not have
good friends.
I don't
I
think
see
it's
it every day.
That's the problem here. I think it's whatever the fuck that threw your car.
Yes,
That's-
all the vodka I drank last night and my whole life did not throw your car.
Can we
Let's say-
less talk in, more moving out of the sodden window, if you wouldn't mind? Just through.
As you guys jump through the back window, you hear the sound of a door shattering and breaking, and something pulling itself through.
Gone.
Now we do Plan B.
No!
Tennessee, we should do Plan B on the house.
No, this is the time. Do other people live in this building?
What is the matter with you? There are neighbors.
Oh.
Their building could catch fire.
I mean, I
Always
hope
there.
they don't.
Fire of 19.
Maybe we can try to save them.
Burn it down!
Mr. Tennessee, you...
Marcus, we're leaving, and she's just trying to drag Marcus like down an alley. And he's
Marcus is yelling this from the alley.
Burn it down!
We're leaving. Shh.
no.
Yeah, you guys
Tell you
run.
what.
Just run. Just run.
Tell you what,
When do you
I
stop
get
running?
motorcycle, we split up, maybe it only follow one of us. We don't know though.
Your motorcycle's
Well,
in the front.
Where do we want to meet up at? As we're
There's a
running.
park. There's a park.
And Hill
not far from
Foundation.
here.
Is there a bar open at this hour? What hour is it?
It's a good idea, Koskov. That's how this night
Come
started.
on.
We were safe in bar, that's all I'm saying.
There might be like a...
Alright, alright.
Not in Chelsea. I don't think there'd be a bar open. Not in Chelsea.
Do I
Not
know
necessarily.
if the bar that Colton was at? Do I think that Irish pub would still be open?
Yeah, they're like 24/7.
Like, go here.
Trust me, I'm good with direction. I only need to hear once.
So
Roll
let's
me a
say that you
direction.
guys run through London throughout the night and end up in various. There's a montage of various different locations that you guys end up falling
Turned
into.
into Scooby-Doo.
Yes. You guys are running, and then the invisible creature's running after. Yeah.
The door's open, and like people running, and then the door's closed, and the door's open. And just...
It's all of us on a park bench with newspapers up, and like the last newspaper is a tentacled fingers.
Until eventually dawn comes as you guys are out really, really late. And at about 7 or 8 a.m., you guys stumble into the Irish bar, which at this point is still open but incredibly quiet. And I'd say like around the same time you guys like rush into this place looking like hell.
I need coffee. I really need coffee.
I need Irish coffee.
Just found him somewhere. As you guys stumble in, Cole, your brother, is still here, Catherine. He looks like he's been up the whole night as well. And Catherine, Marcus, what the hell are you guys doing here?
Oh. Coffee? Irish coffee.
Coffee, please. Coffee.
Coffee for all of them. Come in, friends.
Yes. Could I have Russian coffee, please?
What the hell is
You
Russian
mean
coffee?
just plain vodka? Yeah.
Just vodka.
Yeah.
It's just
He
vodka.
looks outside. Russian
coffee
coffee
beans.
is just vodka. You put a bean into it and it boop. You see Cole, this kind of bear of a man. Catherine, maybe you vaguely remember that he's a brother, or there's some connection going on there.
Yeah.
You guys are probably sobered up a fair bit on
looking
that
at him
one.
like-
Oh, yeah.
Like, he looks really familiar. We had a hell of
I'm
a
in the
night.
hangover stage at the moment.
Yeah.
And
Well, the good news is
he
a lot of exercise, so our hangovers won't be that bad.
He surreptitiously looks outside the door as you guys enter it and closes it with a quick, a lean. Those who are perceptive of those kind of things can notice that he is carrying, and locks the door. Shows you guys into the back room where there's no other patrons. Coffee is brought and various alcoholic drinks as well.
Face down on the table.
Oh, is this family business you need me to talk with? No?
Cole, this is Koskov. Romanovich Koskov, this is Cole McGuire, my brother.
Pleasure.
This is
On the rest of
Dr. She and Ernest and Tennessee Gray.
Oh, the sketchy doctor.
What?
Questionable.
Questionable. Mentioned you last night. And that must make you the getaway driver. It's great.
Did we just stumble into a gang or something when I wasn't looking? Are we now a gang?
Yeah, he's such a
Keep it
shit.
down, son.
Hey, is
Doctor,
there
I
mist?
stumbled into it 6 years ago.
Has the mist gone away?
Yes, it seems like the sun has burnt it away. Or you've run away from it, at least.
There's some
you
strange
guys-
folk over on this side of town. Last night.
Can't say that I've noticed any, but I have heard tell of a mist that comes in the night. People go missing, that kind of thing.
What was
Why?
moon last night?
Was it
Just
a full moon?
wondering.
Yeah, kind of.
I don't know.
All right, I'll ask someone. I'll get a paper. I don't know if it was because we were ridiculously drunk last night. But I don't think it's because we were ridiculously drunk last night. But something through your car, Tennessee.
I was
Am I
only a little
remembering
bit drunk. Yeah, something
Okay,
definitely
so-
threw my car, and
All right.
Okay.
I
think new rule. We don't go to places that we already know, and we don't go anywhere near loved ones. And he looks at Catherine and then his brother. Because wherever we go, they seem to follow us. Collateral damage and all that is due to follow,
Right.
so I would highly recommend we stay away.
someone attacked you last night? Is that what I'm understanding?
Something
only.
very strange happened last night.
You wouldn't believe us if we told you.
Probably not.
All right. Well, if you guys are in some trouble, you should probably let me know.
And he'll look at Catherine and shake his head out of genuine worry for his brother. For Catherine's brother, sorry.
Just strange things going on. You haven't happened to see anything related to stupid nursery rhyme lately, have you? 1, 2, buckle my shoe, etc.
Yeah. No, I have. Now you mention it. One of those
Fuck.
killings in Soho that I mentioned to you earlier, they found that at the dice scene. As I mentioned to Catherine earlier, there's an inspector, James Barrington, who's been asking a lot of questions. Wants to nail it on one of my guys. Wasn't him, though.
I'm sure you're right, but curiously, who is being blamed? What's the name of your fella?
No one in particular. They just want to nail an Irishman. That's the key.
Oh, I see.
My boys, we cause a little bit of trouble here and there, you understand?
Just a little.
You wouldn't happen to have any spare clothes that we can change into, would you? I seem to have vomited all over mine. I'm trying to remember how I vomited.
I'm sure
on
I can find something for you guys.
Strangest thing. Catherine vaguely remembers just wiping her face with Lucius.
Thank you. If you wouldn't mind, I would very much like to freshen up. Even if it's just a wash bowl that I could use.
We'll get something sent in a minute, Doc. Don't worry.
Doctor, once we're all cleaned up, do you think we should go back?
Oh no, I think we should stay away from anything that has to do with me or anything that has to do with any of us. I think we should carry on with what we were doing.
Maybe we all just had like a communal night terror.
Tennessee and I did not have a communal night terror. We had something
Alright.
trying to invade our ears, nose, and throat.
Oh,
You
Only
went to
I'm
see
allowed
other
to-
doctors?
Ears, nose, and throat.
were you injured?
It was very... No, I don't think so, but I do want to know what happened, and maybe that whatever did happen, maybe it left a clue. Maybe there's evidence. Something.
I think we could maybe swing by. If there is no fog, I think we'll be okay.
Just keep a heads up, there will be a lot of authorities there in the morning. A car that just
Probably.
gets smashed and thrown.
Well, it's a
not
good
many
thing
things
that
can do that.
we have a free pass with the locals.
It's true. we do,
Relatively.
we do. Yes, well, we'll be able to get close to it at least. It might be a good idea. Might be a good idea just to check it out before we go to Penhew.
Right, I'm gonna go. I think Marcus and I are gonna swing by our hotel room real quick, get changed, cleaned up.
Well, if you go ahead, do it very, very quickly and leave immediately. Whatever
Alright.
this is, it seems to keep
I'll
following
just
us.
grab all my things and not put them anywhere.
Well,
Listen, everyone, I know we've just met, but if you guys are in trouble, then you should know that if you're friends of Catherine's and you're friends of ours. So this place, come to it if you need some help. Our boys are pretty good at looking after themselves.
Well, if you need help looking after yourself, please,
Catherine's
perhaps
gonna
we
write
could do...
IRA on a napkin and just kind of slide it to Casca past Lucian. Like cover it so Lucian doesn't see it, then show it to Casca.
Just
As long as you guys aren't working with the cops in any way, you're fine by me.
No, not working with cops. Nope.
Police, no. Just a quick reminder, Will. Every single place that's been attacked, right, has been Lucian's, right? In New York, London. It's basically been centered around where Lucian is living, yeah?
I'm not sure. It depends on what you mean by attacks. There have been multiple locations.
Well, kind of
Things have happened at your office and at your home now, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
But they've also happened elsewhere as well. Like, if you think that this is all related back to Peru, then, you know, it's been happening anywhere you guys go.
Yeah, he was just thinking that maybe it's Lucian's the one that is the bad mojo.
It's possible,
you're right.
But if
you're right,
if whoever is following you knows the way you live, which is to say the resources of these people are probably substantial, then, you know.
Yeah, it did pass us by though. It passed us by, and somebody went outside to get somebody in the car. I don't know who that asshole was.
That's true.
But,
it passed us by. So maybe it
didn't come and knock on. Yeah, it didn't come and knock on your door.
Correct.
Someone else. Maybe we could get. Well, I don't know them all, but we can go to the local authorities. I'm sure they've gone door to
If
door.
anybody else's houses got broken into, like once it got like tired looking for us, maybe it went and finished what it was originally going to do.
Very possible.
See if there's any victims.
Yes. Well, I think that's a plan.
Not that Marcus and I are terribly involved. She looks.
I don't suppose I know I just met you, but you have a car we could borrow.
What do you mean borrow?
Well, I mean, it'll come back in one piece.
He looks towards Catherine.
He drives us in need for speed. Yeah, he should be good for it.
I mean, I've not been. I'm a great driver. It's just that, you know, things. Other people, you know, sometimes they catch cars on fire. They use them as missiles. Sometimes cars get picked up and thrown through the air. That I can't help that.
Marcus and I may have.
I have never seen him crash a car.
That's true. He's never crashed.
Last night he crashed into the back of a building.
But I didn't. Never on accident. Only on purpose.
On accident, only ever on purpose. It's true. He says, any car I give you, you're not going to want to get picked up by cops in it, okay?
Grand Theft Auto's a little thing, will be fine.
Could be linked back to any number of cases, but yeah, you can have one. While you're here. I understand that you're only staying in town for a couple of days with Catherine.
Well, they might be staying longer.
Oh, we, us three are planning to stay until our job is done. On business, I should say.
And what is that business, if I may ask?
We are investigating the Soho murders.
Really now?
Yes, we are.
That is interesting.
Isn't it just?
And very beneficial to you.
When you say investigating, you're doing this on your own?
We are.
Well, we want the Jordans to accompany us, but they made plans for elsewhere. You know.
Yeah, we are not.
But this has been following us since Peru for 6-7 years now. I want to put into it.
I see.
It's safe to say we have no interest whatsoever in putting any of your Irish friends in jail or anything like that.
Quite the opposite, actually. I would like to do business with you in future, so I want to keep you explicitly out of jail and able to use product that I can provide at premium cost.
All right, then. Well, then you're fine by me. As long as it stays that way. Well, I can't tell you anything more than you probably already know and have seen in the papers. Except that inspector wants to nail one of my guys for it. So, if there's anything you could do to convince him to stop that from happening, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'd vouch for any one of my men. They don't kill unless I tell them to.
No, I'm sure.
All right.
Racist police officers, what's new?
Amen.
Sorry, yes.
Well, anything I can do for you, then you can let me know. In the meantime, you find me here most hours.
Thank you. Most generous. I am going to get cleaned up. And he kind of asks, he just kind of looks at which direction where he should go.
Oh yeah, he points to a back room where you can go and
And
clean
go and
yourself
get
up.
cleaned up. Yep. And get a change of clothes.
Yeah. I think everybody would probably get cleaned up.
Mm.
Tennessee will stay wearing his same clothes.
Oh.
All right, so you guys get yourselves cleaned up, and where is it that you intend to go? Because you do have a meeting at noon with Edward Gavigan.
Before we go, I would very much like to examine Marcus and Tennessee, because they said they were attacked by something that tried to get into them, and I would very much like to make sure that there aren't any wounds or anything, you know.
Nothing
left.
seems to be bleeding anymore. You know, the mouth heals pretty quickly, but there are some tears and cuts.
Okay.
In their nostrils and mouth, yeah.
In the nostrils, like tears and cuts by there.
Yeah, something reached in there.
Okay, is there anything I'm gonna have? There's nothing in the nose, though, is there?
You could roll me a medicine check.
I'll roll a medicine check just to be on the safe side. Oh, where are we? There we go. Oof. Oof. That's an extreme success.
You find a hair that doesn't belong to it's not a nose hair. It's a longer hair. You think it's human, and it's incredibly burnt.
If you don't mind, I'm just going to
Singed
pull
black.
something. Who's going to have the hair in their nose? Hands up.
Tennessee.
Don't all watch both at once.
Tennessee? Alright. So he gets some pliers and he kind of just gently and then pulls it out and has a look. And, shit! I left my bag at my apartment. Fuck.
Well,
I'm going to need
try
that.
Looks like we need to
We're
go by
going
and
back.
see what is up.
And he'll probably just pop in like a glass and jar or something for later.
Right. Drive by the apartment. Appointment with Edward Gavigan. Talk to the police officer. Sounds like we've got our plan for the day. Right here.
Okay. You guys get cleaned up, and you drive back to Lucy and Ernest's house. Indeed, there are police out because a car was thrown down into the street, your windows were all broken, and your door was ripped off. So, someone called, and there's an obvious break-in that happened. There's a police car outside, 2 police cars outside, and there's police, Bobby on the door, and it looks like there are people looking inside as well. As you drive by go ahead.
Pull over and I'm going to walk up to my apartment, to my flat.
Is Tennessee's car totaled? Lucy,
Yeah, it looks like it's been
Lucy
totaled, and it looks like it's being towed out of here by a truck.
I'm terribly sorry, Tennessee. I know how much you love
Oh, that's all right. It's the second time in a week.
You really do have bad luck. I think it's us, to be honest. I think we're terrible luck on you and your vehicles.
Too.
Yes.
Oh, let's make sure we tell the British government, though. They'll let us go in and do whatever we want.
Yeah.
The police body is like, "Excuse me, sir, can I let you come in?"
Oh, it's very okay. It's okay. And he shows the ID. I'm Dr. Lucian Ernest.
You live
You've
here?
heard of me. I do, yes. It's actually my flat.
All right.
I was
Well,
away last night, you see.
All right. Well, you can speak to the inspector about it.
Thank
Or
you.
some
Thank you very
questions.
much, officer. Thank you.
They let you guys inside, and there are 2 other police officers inside, and a man that you would expect to be in the investigator, who's not wearing a straight uniform. Go ahead.
Apart from obviously the doors completely totaled and the windows have been smashed, is there any obvious damage apart from that? And apart from what we did?
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, the doors and windows are blown off, and there's scratch and scrape marks all around the windows where you felt that sound of the creature feeling around for you, so claws. but nothing else has been destroyed. The inspector is in his 50s or so. He has a craggy, sort of iron-like face. Doesn't look like he takes much nonsense. And he's writing down notes on a notepad. He turns towards you and says, you must be Dr. Lucian Ernest.
Yeah, that's right, Inspector. What,
Pleasure to meet you, Inspector James Barrington.
Inspector Barrington.
Metropolitan
Pleasure to
Police.
meet you, sir. Pleasure to meet you. And he extends his hand to shake.
He shakes it. It's a firm grip, and he looks at the rest of you and says, "And these are your companions?"
Yes. These are my companions. They can introduce themselves if they so wish.
No need, unless they were here last night.
Oh no! None of us were here last night, I'm afraid. Which comes to us a shock of what happened here. Any ideas?
Yes, well, it appears like some kind of break-in, large-scale operation, Dr. Ernest. May I ask where you all were last night?
Oh, absolutely. Well, you see, we went out to celebrate coming back to London from America, and we got a little drunk, as it would happen, and we spent all night out drinking.
Ah.
I see, and you never returned home at any point?
No.
That is rather strange, Dr. Ernest. Just taking one glance around his apartment, it would seem as though the drunken story would fit, and by the vomit that we found in the bathtub, and, well, to be frank, everywhere else, one would deduce it.
All right, but
Some of you may well
it
have
may
been here.
possibly. I was very, very
Catherine's
drunk.
gonna be
last
like,
night.
I blacked out. I don't remember a thing.
I see.
I don't
So-
remember coming back.
Certainly.
now look here, Inspector. We're working with the British government. We're working with the government. We don't have to answer any of your questions. We are actually hoping to ask you some questions.
You're working with the British government, and so
Right,
you don't
you have
to
it in
answer
your-
any of my questions.
I mean, that's what we were told.
And who on earth told you that?
Oh, what was his name? The Mr. Hare, I think, is Mr. Hare. He said, like, take a look at my ID. He says you have it in a checklist or something.
I have
I
it
signed
in
a
a
contract.
checklist. You think I carry around a checklist of all the people that work for the British
Well, I mean, it
government?
did seem strange when he told me that. It did sound strange to me, but I don't know how things work over here. I'm from America. We have a different way of doing things.
It all seemed above board, officer.
I see. Well, we will check, of course, if you claim to work for the British government, though I understand that you just arrived here today, so that would be rather odd, but in the meantime, before we can get that checked out, we can answer a few questions here easily and try to resolve your break-in, or we can go back, do some paperwork, and summon you to answer some questions later on, I suppose.
Inspector, can you tell me, were there any victims? Did anyone get hurt last night here?
No, I do not believe that they were. We have yet to find anyone damaged or injured last night. Aside from yourselves, seem to have been in a bit of a rough and tumble state.
Well, you know,
I mean,
drinking.
It's pretty par for course, actually.
I see.
Party
Dr.
hard.
Ernest, do you have any enemies? Someone who might be after you? Try to hurt you in some way?
I mean,
Well, I'm a doctor.
domestic, international, cosmic.
Not that I know of. Not someone who would physically try to hurt me. I have been out of the country for quite some time and did come back sooner than I anticipated. So this could have been someone planning to break in and steal things, and I guess, and didn't expect me to be back so soon. I don't know. I can't think of any enemies.
And so now you have suggested that you may well have been here last night. Do any of you recall any events surrounding?
Unfortunately, I blacked out. So
I see. Is it possible, Dr. Ernest, that some of these damages may have been self-inflicted?
And why would I want to destroy my own property?
Well, as you suggested, Dr. Ernest, you were blackout drunk, and there is a car outside which has been completely totaled, which we believe to have broken in through this building here. After all, what could cause such damages aside from a car?
I wouldn't know.
We never drink and drive.
So you're admitting that it was your car?
It was my car. And I can vouch that they were drinking quite a lot last night. I believe it when they say that they don't remember anything.
So then it is entirely possible that you or one of your friends, Dr. Ernest, may well have caused these damages to your house.
No, sir, that is impossible, because I remember what happened last night. And once you confirm with the British government that we are indeed on their payroll, then I'll be happy to tell you about it.
He gives you an odd look. I see. Well, if that's all you're going to answer, then I won't press you on it anymore. We'll follow up with you in the next couple of days after your paperwork is checked.
Do you have a number that I can call if we need to get in touch with you, Inspector?
Certainly. He reaches into a pocket and gives you his card. I assume, Dr. Ernest, that you would look to press charges.
Well, should anyone be found guilty, then perhaps. Yes.
Very well. And you really can't think of anyone in particular that may have sent you threats or maybe a grudge? Anyone that knew maybe that you had some valuables in here, though admittedly there's nothing been found which is stolen, which is one of the strangest things about this case. If it were a regular break-in, you would expect possessions to go missing, valuable objects, etc. Nothing was taken.
Honestly, off the top of my head, I can't think of someone with who would be in it. But grudges happen. A jealous doctor, a patient that wasn't happy with my service. It's possible, I suppose.
Strange that they would wait so long for you after having been away for such a while from the country, but
I do not
as
try
you say,
to think I know the mind of the person who did this.
Very well. Well, if you fear for any danger, Dr. Ernest, of this happening again, then I suggest you contact us and we can arrange some kind of security, perhaps for the next couple of days in detail, in case such a thing were to happen again.
That would be actually I would be very grateful for that. Thank you, yes.
My other suggestion, Dr. Ernest, would be for you and your friends to lay off the drinking for a little while.
That I can agree with too, yes. It was a bit of a celebration for returning home.
I see. Well, I don't claim to believe that there is anyone out for you, Dr. Ernest. Much more likely, someone, either you or someone else, managed to break into that car and got drunk and drove it into the back of your building. But hopefully such matters can be avoided in the future for the peace of all of the neighborhood. But the detail will be on you just in case anything's gone missing. And Mr. Gray will be in touch.
All right, have a good day.
Likewise. If you wouldn't mind vacating the vicinity for the next hour or so, we'll be finished here shortly.
Oh, would you mind if I just grabbed my bag? Very quickly.
Of course. Once we have a quick look through it, Dr. Ernest, make sure nothing's missing.
Yes, of course. And he freely
Thank
opens it and he even tells them what's in it.
And
Yep. They just check
Inspector,
this to make sure that nothing's missing.
when you confirm that what I've told you is true, I fully expect that you'll turn over any evidence you find and to us so that we may view it.
That entirely depends on the nature of your permits, Mr. Gray. But I am more than willing to cooperate with any branch of the English government.
Of course. I look forward to working with you in the future.
He doesn't quite agree because he's not entirely sure about whether or not that's true or not. But he kind of nods curtly. Anything else I can help you with? He looks at Catherine and notices that she's like pretty beaten up. Are you okay, miss?
I'm perfectly fine.
Well, I'm sure Dr. Ernest here can look after you.
Like, oh, I'm great.
Very well.
Just a bit drinking.
If ever any of you are in need of the Metropolitan Police Services, then you know where to reach me.
What am I doing?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
He sort
for
of
your
turns back to
service.
his work. The Grey Hawk channel for the raid. Thank you guys. Okay, man. What do you guys do?
Appointment?
Yes, we have appointment. Koskov's going to go out and check his motorcycle, make sure it's okay, and he'll follow the group to the appointment.
Before Lucian leaves, he's going to check his flat for any writing on the wall or anything like that. Anything to write.
There is no writing. The writing is not on the wall yet. For
Oh, good. Good. Just making sure.
all right. Then off to Edward Gavigan.
That's it. Penhu.
All right. As you guys leave the scene of the crime and Inspector James Barrington behind, the group of you heads towards the Penhu Foundation for your meeting with Edward Gavigan and all that might reveal. But for now, having survived some kind of assault in the night, that is where we're going to end tonight's story of Call of Cthulhu Masks of Nyarlathotep. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And this is actually the time that the show is meant to end. It's not an hour before. But man, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad we got our last a little bit in there and got to survive just about pretty vicious attack. Thanks so much, Alarm Sloth, for the Twitch Prime sub. Good to see you guys here. Coming right at the end, but don't worry because we've got some great shows later on tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern. We've got the premiere of Tales from the Loop. Little Busters is the show from Nomedic, so stick around for that. We usually have Warhammer, but that's starting up next week, so we've got a couple of hour break in between this show and the next one. If you enjoyed tonight's show, of course, hit the follow button and join us if you're watching on YouTube. Come and join us for a live stream one of these days. 2 o'clock Eastern is when we stream Call of Cthulhu Masks of Nyarlathotep. And if you're on Twitch, you can catch up on youtube.com/encounter roleplay for all the rest of our streams. And have a big thank you to our sponsors, Fancy Grounds, Whaling Games, and Tabletop Loot for supporting the stream. Let's go around the cast and the crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? And of course, where can we find you wonderful people online? Let's start with Lindy. How was that tonight for you, Lindy?
Super great. It felt so good to get back into it. I missed this immensely over the holidays break. I love how we were so drunk, and then the thing comes up, and we're like, yep, everything's a hard success because you're just that wasted. And we were like, all right. But Tennessee rolled some super clutch driving checks there, and we got the fuck out of Dodge. And super fun. Missed this group, missed the game. Absolutely love it. Cannot wait for next week, where I'm sure everything's going to be perfectly fine. In the meanwhile, you can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on the Twitches and the Twitters, where I played a lot of tabletop RPGs and also DM several this season as well. If you can't get enough Call of Cthulhu, you should check out the game I DM right here on Tuesdays from 5 to 8 Eastern. It's a little different. They're all pretty new to Call of Cthulhu, and they're going to Antarctica, so quite different than this adventure. A lot colder, a lot more hope, optimism.
A lot more. Super Crush.
But yeah, that's me. Let's check that out.
Fantastic stuff. Greg, how was that tonight for you?
It was great. I'm very sorry I had a stupid thing from Real World pop up during the middle of it, but I love playing with everybody. I really like the drinking montage. Anytime you can throw 1 or 12 of those into an episode, it always makes things fun. And Cthulhu, Cthulhu is a probably one of the more realistic systems out there just because of your propensity for death, and guns hurt. And I also like the ability to just, since it's realistic, to just get shit-faced too, and have that help you in a way. Like it often doesn't do in real life. Anyhow, I had a great time. I am Grimjack21502, but not on the Twitch. I am on the Twitter. The new handle for the Twitch is Tales from the Grim. So if you see that pop up in your feed, that's moi. Come over and see what we're doing. We have a lot of fun things coming up. Starting later this month, we have Highlander, If on a Winter's Night. So stop by and see us play a game inspired by something that inspired me as a kid, and we'll all be princes and princesses of the universe. Until next time, my friends.
Fantastic. And Tom, how was that tonight for you and Lucian?
Oh, it's so good to be back. I mean, it was a long break, long break. But it's really, really good to be back. Loved the episode, as Greg said. Getting drunk while doing it is just a laugh, and yeah, getting drunk in Call of Cthulhu is probably a benefit because you're numb to the pain. You don't understand what the hell is going on. So so that's a strategy. Next time, permanently drunk. I mean, that's why Koskov does so well. He's 100% drunk all of the time. He's never been sober. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I don't know why we're stopping, to be honest. There's no show until a couple of hours. I would have kept going.
True, no, 3 hours.
But there we go. Anyway, you can catch me. I'm Redundant UK. I stream a wide variety of games, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 11 a.m. GMT. Come follow me, and I hang out in Encounter Roleplay too. Yeah, that's it, pretty much. See you next week.
Yes. Love it. And Pruitt, how was that tonight for you?
Oh, that was freaking awesome. Anytime you can throw in a drunk montage, like Greg said. What's not to love?
Season, at least,
yeah. Yeah, for an entire season. We just did that in Warhammer. It was great. But it was great to be back with this group. I missed y'all over the Christmas break quite a bit. And yes, Greg, I am ready for Highlander. I am ready. Oh my God, I am ready. Anyway, I'm Pruitt. I'm one half of WebDM. You can find us over on YouTube where we have our information DM tip videos. We just had one come out today, slipping some sci-fi up in your D&D. You should check that out just for the intro. It's well worth it. And we have Unearthly Twilights tonight, I think. I'm not sure if it's canceled or not. We have a couple people that are a little under the weather. But got a few things this weekend. Capricorn Cross, going to play a game over there. Going to play a game over on Power Score RPG. It's kind of nuts. It's all over the place. And I think this Friday, I we're doing our session 0 of Octung Cthulhu. And so that should be quite interesting. I can't wait to dive into that, since I have been nominated to be the commander. So I can't wait to yell orders at people and have them not follow them. So that's it for me. I might not be able to be here next week. Next week we are doing our week-long shoot for WebDM, shooting 14 more episodes like we do every 3 months. So had to make some sacrifices, and I think I probably won't be able to show up, which is kind of why I jumped on my motorcycle to be separate from the group. So went ahead and prepared that in advance. But nice. I can't wait to get back with y'all and lose our minds together.
Awesome. And last but not least, then, Don, how was that tonight?
It was awesome. Even though I lost my car again, I think.
It's not even me. You guys find ways to get the car destroyed now.
I don't know. I feel like this one might have been you. You were the one playing the invisible monster, right?
I didn't come out to the car. I was the one that opened the door and came out to the car.
It's fine. If it's meant to be, then she'll come back. She'll come back to me. No, I had a great time. I love being back. I love you guys and playing this game with you. You can follow me on Twitter at DonathanFry. I have a bunch of things coming up that I'm working on. D&D books that are being published, more games, lots of cool stuff, just like everybody else. They're all awesome. If you want to follow me, I'm there. Later tonight at 8 p.m., I will be be running May Black Roses Bloom, my ongoing Dragonlance 5th edition D&D game on Greg's channel. That's at 8 p.m. We are going to the War of the Lance, so this is a really like famous canonical part of Dragonlance. So that'll be going on tonight, but I'll be looking forward to this next week.
Awesome. Fantastic stuff. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Like I say, no Warhammer tonight, but next week we've got a new show starting. And we have a new show starting tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, Tales from the Loop with Nomedic and crew. It's going to be awesome. So join us for the first episode of a new season starting here on the channel in 3 hours' time. And until next time, my friends, try not to roll too many net ones because we want to be here laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye.